a day per employee. Run your entire business with Zoho One, the operating system for business.
I want the world. I want the whole world. Presents and prices and sweets and surprises. Oh, now, I want it now.
Penn squares off with Villanova. Then Texas Tech faces off with DePaul. It's back-to-back college basketball starting tonight at 6:30 Eastern on FS1.
We're Jack Daniels. The smoothest, merriest, coldest, toastiest, slowest to mellow it, the quickest to give it, holliest, jolliest, least likely to have a regular tree, most likely to gather folks around it. Whiskiest whiskey from Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Take your time, build a home, build a place where we all can belong.
Give extra, get extra with Extra Refreshers Gum.
As a struggling actor, I need all the breaks that I can get. At Liberty Butchmug.
Cut.
Liberty Bibbity.
Cut. We'll dub it.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Wheel to wheel, out of two. Earnhardt low, Baker high. And Baker senses that this could be his day to win the Daytona 500. And here's Allison, dropping all the way down on the apron, wheeling through cars. One car, Eddie Bierswale, running very slowly. And they just snowplow over him.
The drivers kind of got their feet to the floor. They're asking everything from the engine it can give. There's no breathing. They're all going to have leg cramps when this day is over.
Pulling up on the rear. Here comes Bobby Allison for the lead, and you're watching it from Davey Allison's car. Going to turn 3. Bobby Allison takes command.
And every Alabama spectator is waving here at the track.
Here's Davey trying the outside. Darrell Waltrip down low. Well, what Darrell Waltrip wanted, to be out in front and run by himself, forget it.
Well, Bobby knows how to handle this car, and he knows how to handle Darrell Waltrip. The question is, will he have the quality and the speed to do it when it's all over with?
Father first, son third, Waltrip sandwiched in between at 190 miles an hour. Here comes Waltrip down to the inside. Darrell Waltrip in a snarl for first position. 157 laps complete. Here's Davey Allison's view of this struggle for supremacy in the 30th annual Daytona 500.
Now they're pulling away from the 4th place, and the rest of the cars behind them. This tremendous duel. We'll see now who has the muscle.
On the brake, Phil Parsons steady into turn 1. Davey Allison there. Waltrip in third. I would think Waltrip's confidence level is very, very high.
Goes right down
Here
the
comes
bottom of the track.
They put on their best set of tires, filled him up with gasoline, and here comes Bobby Allison, 2 of the fastest cars we've seen during speed weeks here. Allison going to make a move for it.
The winner of the 125-mile qualifiers. Allison and Waltrip go for it.
That's going to be a psychological blow to Waltrip.
We'll see. Here he is on the outside trying to take some room back. Davey Allison gets into it. 3 cars for the Llewellyn.
Where Davey Allison is, he's helping down.
Yeah, he's
rather than his father.
Yeah, when he moves up there, that helps Darrell a little bit, but maybe Davey's car won't work down low, but Bobby's doing okay on his own.
Bobby Allison goes out in front, still even. And there's the view from Davey Allison of this battle for the Daytona 500.
Now he's down giving Dad a boost.
And Dad takes advantage of it. Gets out in front by about 4 feet. Waltrip comes back. But no, these 2 cars in the bottom of the track look like they're going to go home.
Well, Davey's the key right here as to who's going to lead this race. As to who he gets behind.
By staying behind his father, he pulls up. He goes to second. Dad goes out in front. Waltrip falls to third. Darrell Waltrip needs to get that new daughter Jessica out here in the car right off.
So long, Daddy. Look at Bobby go.
Dale Earnhardt in number 3. Pulls on pit road. Something amiss there.
Apparently a tire went down on the car.
So once again, the effort by Earnhardt to turn it around and win this race will come up short.
Had so many late race troubles here at Daytona. It's unbelievable. Never having taken the 500.
Undergreen. Back to the finish. 10 laps. It's a sprint. 25 miles to decide it all this afternoon for $1.5 million. Bobby Allison goes out in front. Davey Allison in second. Pulling up in the back straightaway. Getting to full speed. Bobby Allison jumps out in front by 8 car lengths. Now down to 2 car lengths, Chris.
That's good. Heavy traffic back there. There's no room for the drivers who have the power to get through.
Baker won't let go.
Baker's a master at drafting, and he likes high-speed racetracks. He loves the Daytona International Speedway. Has a lot of miles here.
Getting down to the finish. Guess who's going to be back here to see it? Richard Petty has been released from the hospital. He's on his way back to the track after that terrible crash. Judy Allison looking on. Here's how they run across the line. Allison, Phil Parsons, Terry Labonte, Neil Bonnet. In 6, Ken Schrader, Rusty Wallace. In 7th, Sterling Marlin. In 8th, Darrell Waltrip. In 9th, Buddy Baker. In 10th now, Bill Elliott, last year's winner in 11th. And Dale Earnhardt back inside of Davey Allison's car as we get down to decide it this afternoon. You're riding with the second-place campaigner, the Harry Ranier Lundy car. That team won it twice with a CBS onboard camera with Cale Yarborough driving. Out of turn number 4. Here's Bobby Allison, the 2-time champion. What must be going through his mind right now?
Here's the white silk from Harold Kinder.
Last lap. Parsons lies 3rd. Texas Terry Labonte is in 4th. Neil Bonnet, the 3rd member of that Alabama gang, back in 5th. And those 2 leaders draw away a bit. Davey Allison coming after his father. Looks down inside as they take it high in turn number 2. Back straight away, final time to decide it all here this afternoon.
Now, Davey, what are you going to do?
He's got less than half a lap to do it.
And they have enough lead. I believe this is going to be a battle between the father and son. I don't think anybody else can try it, but here he comes. He's going to do it.
To the bottom. He's down low. Bobby Allison high. Davey Allison trying the inside move. Bobby Allison holds him off. They come to the stripe. And the winner of the 30th annual Great American Race, Bobby Allison. Davey Allison, his son, in second. Judy Allison ecstatic. What a tremendous family performance.
Look at him, Bobby waving to Davey.
I went down low at turn 4, but he was too strong.
Did you hear Davey saying I made a try for him at turn 4, but he was too strong? Bobby Allison for the 3rd time in his career, averaging 137 miles an hour. Let's go to Mike Joy, standing by with the winner.
Bobby Allison, 3 Daytona 500s and a father-son finish.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, this Stavola Brothers Miller Buick really ran good. I'm telling you, Mike, what a thrill for me, what a thrill. I'll tell you, these guys have just been great for me. Jimmy Bennig and Keith Ullman. And I'm going to tell you what, my parents are a real inspiration to me. And I'll tell you, it's just been a great day.
Your sister watching at home, lying ill. Your son right behind you and riding alongside on that victory lap. What could be better than this?
I'll tell you, that was great. And Davey did such a great job, especially after getting the car wrecked so bad yesterday at the end of practice. I got to give a lot of credit to the whole Ranier crew, and I'll tell you, Davey did a great job.
And so did you. Congratulations, Bobby Allison. Back upstairs to Ken Squire.
It's a big day for the seniors, the first winner over 50 years of age. Bobby Allison, the leader of the Alabama gang. For Chris Economaki, Ned Jarrett, David Hobbs, Dave Despain, and Mike Joy, I'm Ken Squire saying so long from the Daytona International Speedway.
Well, we didn't know it at the time, but that would mark the final win of Bobby Allison's Hall of Fame career. Just 4 months later in Pocono, Bobby suffered career-ending injuries in a crash. For Davey, he would finally get that Daytona 500 win 4 years later in 1992. I hope you enjoyed this special presentation of the 1988 Daytona 500. Thanks for watching.
With 1.3 seconds left to get into the corner. Three, no good, it's over! The Quakers have snapped Villanova's 25-game Big Five winning streak.
A rich college basketball tradition unique to the city of brotherly love. The Philadelphia Big Five. And tonight it makes the visit to the Veteran Pavilion here in Villanova as the number 23 Villanova Wildcats take on the Penn Quakers. Hi, everyone. Alongside Donnie Marshall, Dr. John Giannini, Scott Graham, glad to be here with you. Always love a Big Five game. And guys, we might have a bit of a revenge game tonight.
Yeah, very similar teams. For Villanova, though, they have to understand patience. That's the key word for them tonight. Their youth, Penn will stay the course.
Well, Penn can beat Villanova. It's going to be extremely difficult to do 2 years in a row, especially in this hostile environment where Penn has never won. Villanova may say payback's not on their mind. I don't buy that at all.
Not in a game like this one, and not in a city like this one. We take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Ryan Bentley, A.J. Brodeur, a couple of the big guns for the Quakers. Jordan Dingle's been marvelous as a freshman. Colin Gillespie and Jermaine Samuels, two of the leaders for this team. Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, though, is the Big East projected freshman of the year. Brian O'Connell, Tony Chiazza, Evan Burrows. And if you're a Villanova fan and just tuning in, yeah, that's your Wildcats wearing light blue for the first time that anybody can remember in Villanova history. Tip controlled by Villanova, and off we go. That's come in at 5-2, Penn at 5-3. Quakers just spent some time out on the West Coast. Driving inside, that's Bay for the first two of the ball game.
So are we calling it Villanova blue?
You know what? It's got a little hint of Carolina blue in it, but
I'd let you say it. I'm not saying it. Well, I'm calling it Villanova blue.
That's probably a very good idea on your part.
Powder blue. How about that?
Baby blue, if you'd like to go there, you can do that too. Sky blue. There's a quick turnover. And Gillespie, untouched down the lane, can't get it to fall. Quakers moving quickly. Dingle. Missed it Bentley.
A little nerves there, a little bit. You know, the crowd is loud. You understand how important this game is for a freshman. Every place for him is the first time he's played there.
May can't get it to sit down. And Brodeur down with the rebound for the Quakers. That's Bentley in rhythm. Got it.
Yeah, threes in transition are critical in this game. Bentley for Penn and Swider for Villanova are going to hunt threes in transition. You better find those guys quick.
I think Bentley's the key. I really do for Penn. I think if he's knocking down shots, it opens up everything for Jordan Dingle. And also, when you have Brodeur down low, it gives him more room to work when that three ball's falling.
Well, both these teams depend on the three to stretch the defense. And they're both two of the best three-point shooting teams in the country pretty much year to year.
They thought he got hit. Late whistle. And he's going to go to the free throw line, courtesy of the foul call on Eddie Scott. Steve Donahue, in his 5th season back as the head coach at Penn, 4-time Ivy League Coach of the Year and coach of the Big Five champions from last year. And, of course, there's the all-time winningest coach in Villanova history, Jay Wright, now in his 19th season, 575 career wins.
I think it's a cool thing for both these guys that they're at their dream job. Stevie Donahue assisted Fran Dunphy at Penn during some glory days, and of course Coach Wright with Coach Massimino, and I'm sure when they were young assistants they dreamt of times like this, so I'm happy for them, and they're great coaches.
It's like Scott Graham's job when he's working with me. It's his dream job.
Moving on.
Ouch, already.
Backcourt pressure, and the Quakers break it. Trying to feed the inside. Great job helping by Swider. John, you coached in these games, and you coached in games in this building, in the Palestra. What are these Big Five games like emotionally for the teams?
Super emotional. You could just imagine Penn. They, every day, practice in the cathedral of the Big Five, the Palestra. So they go through the Big Five Hall of Fame every day, and you think about it every day. Huge bragging rights in this city. Nothing else like it in any other city.
Dingle with a pretty move down the lane. The left-hand shot won't fall. That's Robinson Earl. Bey, very active here in the opening moments, is going to the free throw line.
Sadiq Bey already, I know he's got one bucket, but he looks like a sixth grader playing against third graders. At least his actions under the basket. He looks just so much bigger and stronger and quicker than anyone on the Penn side, and that's nothing against the players from Penn. It's just the way he started this game.
You know, he made one early mistake. He settled for a pull-up jump shot, and in walkthrough today, Coach Wright talked about attacking the basket on the pick and roll. Since that pull-up, he's had that offensive rebound. He had that other hard drive. He's in attack mode, and Villanova has a size strength advantage around the rim today.
Bey's got all 6 of the Wildcat points and a 3-point lead. You saw coming into the game Justin Moore, who's had a great start to his freshman year.
I really like how they're denying Brodeur the ball at the high post. That's key for Villanova.
Penn's offense runs through him in a lot of different ways. He's got it right there. Doing a good job of cutting him off. Now inside, Brodeur, a little floater on the feed from Devin Goodman.
The key for both teams is not to overhelp. And I think that's what you saw right there. You overhelp, and Penn is such a willingly passing, great passing team. They want to give the ball to their teammates. Very unselfish. You can't overhelp.
There goes Bey again. Cutter down the lane. They were working on this during walkthrough today, but they didn't expect pocket to be picked of Earl down low. Here comes Bentley. Lost the handle on it. And Swider with the glass. Villanova would like to continue to play transition basketball and get that shot right there. But Swider can't hit on it.
Well, if you want to disrupt Penn, disrupt Brodeur, because he leads them in assists. He's a prolific scorer. Make it hard for him to get the ball, because when he gets it, he can finish and make great decisions in terms of distributing the ball too. Make things tough on Brodeur.
He's going to go down as one of Penn's all-time great players, a senior out of Northborough, Massachusetts. Last 2 years, unanimous first-team All-Ivy. And continuing to move up the scoring, rebounding charts there in his senior season. On the drive, Goodman, good body control on the banker.
Yeah, really good job when you see a bigger player in front of you to get him on his heels a little bit and then stop.
Donnie, I was surprised too. You know Goodman's quick, but he showed some muscle on that play. It's the fighting the dog, not the size of the dog, right?
Pick and roll wasn't there. Bey is just attacking the rim. Thought he had a foul call, didn't get it. Still diving on the floor. But the Quakers come out with the basketball. End-to-end action here in the opening minutes. Dingle tried to save it, and it's staying the same way.
Well, we got a good one here, fellas. The Big Five, it's real, folks. It is a real thing, and we got a real game going on here at the fence.
The Cowboys are pushing for the playoffs on Fox. MVP candidate Dak Prescott brings Dallas's explosive offense to prime time when they face Chicago at Soldier Field. Cowboys, Bears, Thursday Night Football on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video.
Sometimes the only thing better than the perfect shot is knowing that no one is keeping score. Do it for the cheers.
We stuffed the garlic knot, then stuffed it on our delicious hand-tossed pizza. The stuffed garlic knot pizza from Pizza Hut. Order your mighty large pizza lined with 16 cheese-filled knots before they're gone. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
I like giving the best tech gifts and saving serious coin.
Samsung makes amazing tech, and we're having a Samsung sale right now.
Wow, you must be...
an angel?
I was going to say cold.
Save on everything from Samsung mobile phones to earbuds.
Introducing Wendy's 2 for $5. The only 2 for $5 with Wendy's fresh, never frozen beef and the spicy chicken you crave. Choose from the Dave's single spicy chicken sandwich, 10-piece crispy, or spicy nuggets. Pick any 2 for $5. Only at Wendy's.
There's nothing like the Big East tournament. It's the most competitive conference in the country.
Fans feel it. The energy in the building right now is phenomenal.
You have to be determined. You have to be tough.
Every game's a big game.
Howard for the win.
It's survive and advance.
The Musketeers will move on to the semifinals.
You lose, you go home. At the end of the day, it's all about who wants it more.
And Steve Knowles at 5.
The Big East Tournament at Madison Square Garden. Get tickets now.
It's a college hoops showdown on Fox. Kamal Baldwin leads 24th ranked Butler against Kerry Blackshear Jr. in Florida. Saturday at 11:30 Eastern on Fox.
Playing and coaching a Big Five game for a guy from Philadelphia is an honor, and you feel part of a tradition that you grew up with. You know, you watch it as a kid, you dream about being there, and when the game starts, you always kind of reflect for a second and say, hey, this is what I watched as a kid. This is what I always wanted to do. All of us who grew up in Philly wanted to play for a Big Five school, and now you get to coach those teams and be a part of the greats like Rolling Massimino and Jack Ramsey and Jack Kraft and Paul Westhead. It's a great experience.
It is an amazing tradition for these two schools, along with LaSalle, Temple, and St. Joseph's. Penn by 1 here. Jay Wright's part of a program that won 5 Big Five titles in a row, 26 in all. The only team that's won more of them in Big Five history is Temple, but this was the dominant team, and probably it's always going to be a team to beat in the Big Five.
It's good for the Big Five. Going over, being nationally relevant, it gives you a chance to knock off a recent national champion. It's good for the other teams to have that opportunity.
Brodeur got it poked free, but gets control back again. And there's the cutter. Down the lane, it's Bentley.
He falls asleep on that weak side.
Bentley is on my all-cutting team. How do you cut better than this guy?
Well, he sees that defense turns her head. That's my time to go. Timing is everything on those cuts, Coach. You know that.
Lakers aren't going to be backing down in a game like this. Donnie and I were there not long ago at Providence when they went into the Dunkin' Donuts Center and beat the Friars, leading by 19 in the second half of that game. Moore with an unbelievable move on the left side of the basket.
Athleticism, but it was a lot of work, though. There was a lot of spinning and turning, and that's exactly what Penn makes you do. Now, kudos if you can make the basket. But to live on that the rest of the night, I don't think Jay Wright would want that.
Well, you're right about that. Coach Donahue wants Villanova to win, or try to win at least, taking tough twos, and that was certainly a tough shot. Moore showing his strength.
And his biggest concern coming in was the catch-and-shoot threes the Wildcats love. Robinson Earl down with the miss from Devin Goodman. Boy, it is a frenetic pace. There's a catch-and-shoot, and he got it.
That's all Colin Gillespie right there. Keeping his head up. Steve Nash kind of comes to mind if you think about it. Keeping the ball alive. Deep in the defense, and then your guys keeping their spacing, knocking down a long three. Great vision and ball handling.
You went Steve Nash there, huh?
Yeah, I'm telling you. He's one of the best ever.
Great move on the inside, but Brodeur couldn't pay it off. Gillespie. Swider flying in. He thought he had saved it, but he didn't.
Well, here's my all-cutting team guy, Ryan Bentley.
And here's Dustin Moore doing a great job spinning. That's terrific, terrific defense. That's just a little bit better athleticism. There he is. Gillespie doing a great job. So when you talk to the staff of Penn, they say before the game, what do you have to look for, or what scares you? And they say Colin Gillespie. Remember, this kid didn't have offers out of high school until after the state tournament, his senior year, and now he's the focus of every other team's defense.
That's Cole Swider on the inside. He's had a good start to this season as a sophomore. His first two, and the Villanova run now is 7-0. Dingle stepping back. Got it. Jordan Dingle is shooting 35% from three-point land against big-time non-conference competition as a freshman.
Coach Donahue said early on in practice he saw that he has a chance to be the most talented player this year, and he hasn't disappointed. And made big shots, too. Not just shots, but game-winning shots, including the one in Alabama.
Freshman on freshman. And Bentley with the tipped rebound. Quakers down by a point with the basketball.
What I like about Dingle is what they call him today, a two-way player. I thought that's just what you always had to be, or you just couldn't, you wouldn't play.
Well, you played for Coach Calhoun.
Yeah.
One of the best coaches ever.
I like the defense here. You're not standing on one side, making Brodeur comfortable and finding your body. I think Villanova needs this guy, not just to make threes, but they need Coach Swider to get it going, use that 6'9" body, get some easy baskets.
I saw a quote by Swider early in the year that said, listen, I know I was recruited as a shooter, but I want to get stronger. I want to get better in the post. I want to get better defensively. He's shooting 50% on threes, but he's also shooting over 50 inside the lane. So he's accomplishing what he set out to do. Be more all around, be stronger.
And so Brodeur, who rarely comes off the floor, will get a break here with the game tied up.
Interesting, when he's been in foul trouble as he's been, Brodeur has been in a few recent games. Simmons has come in and Penn hasn't missed a beat. He's really played a valuable role spelling Brodeur.
24 in the dark blue, that's Jared Simmons that John is referring to. He's getting good penetration, but he's not getting the payoff.
Almost looking for the body, the contact before he's looking for the basket. You got to have your priorities straight when you get in the paint. Can't count on the officials to blow the whistle. You got to score first.
Dustin Moore's coming off a 25-point effort here on Sunday against LaSalle. There's your drive and your two for Lucas Monroe, another freshman, local kid out of Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania.
Monroe can be a big factor in this game because he's a bigger guard that can rebound and deal with the physicality of Villanova. He can also handle the ball against pressure. He can be an X factor in this game for Penn.
Gillespie. And there's Simmons down with the rebound. Quakers are not afraid to push the pace in this game. And there's a backdoor cut. An easy two for Bentley.
The Gitsu, he'll cut you up.
Man.
You might be the captain of your all-cutting team, John.
You know what? That was in my notes. We're thinking the same.
And a foul call on the cut at the top.
Look, they play against each other in the summer, and they know exactly who they have in front of them. And the Gitsu, Ryan Bentley, finishing high and soft pin. Up 4 early.
The holidays are just around the corner. And that means Hyundai holidays are here. With savings so big, finding the right gift is easy. How to wrap it? That's another story. Hyundai holidays. The longer you look, the more there is to like.
Get a Santa Fe for 0% APR for 72 months, plus $500 holiday cash and no payments for 90 days. Now during Hyundai holidays.
When we were looking for a roommate, he wanted someone super quiet. Yeah, and he wanted someone to help out with chores, so we got Jean-Pierre. But one thing we could both agree on was getting Geico to help with renter's insurance. Yeah, Geico did make it easy to switch and save. Oh no, there's a wall there now? That's too bad.
Visit geico.com and see how easy saving on renter's insurance can be.
As far back as I can remember, I wanted to be a basketball player. In high school, I was the star of the team. In college, I was on the team. Even still, I love college basketball. To see those kids form bonds that they'll share the rest of their lives, I never get sick of watching or talking about it. Did I ever find a team like that? I guess you could say I'm still looking.
See more at ContinentalBball.com.
Don't freak out, but you can get 50% off all menu price pizzas when you order online at Domino's right now.
Right now? Right now?
Right now?
Right now?
Yes, right now.
50% off, honey! Right now!
Now through the end of the week, get 50% off all menu price pizzas when you order online at Domino's.
The Big Ten Championship is on Fox.
We've been waiting all year long!
Justin Fields and the #1 Buckeyes take on Jonathan Taylor and #8 Wisconsin. Coverage begins Saturday at 7 on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
FS1 College Hoops is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. 4-point game, Penn on top, courtesy of an 8-0 run here in the middle of the first half. Saturday, Justin Fields and #1 Ohio State look to punch their ticket to the college football playoff as they clash with Jonathan Taylor and #8 Wisconsin in the Big Ten Championship game. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Let's take a listen inside the huddle for the Penn Quakers with their head coach, Steve Donahue.
We got to be willing to cut early in the possession. You know what I mean? That's the first one. We're doing. Now watch, they're still young and in transition. Max, if 8 grinds here, try to run wide away. Ease up. I know you get it. Spot it up and play.
So as you're talking to a team that, yeah, in a lot of ways, John, is a veteran team. You saw Ryan Bentley backdoor cutting a freshman. Is that experience level something that he's fallen back on here right now?
Oh, absolutely. And it's not only the experience over the years, it's that early schedule. It's Alabama and Arizona and at Providence. So they've played against good athletes. And these guys, they play fast, not just in the full court, but in the half court. As Coach said, lots of early cutting, and they go full speed on the cuts.
So it's been a game of runs for both sides. They're going to get a foul call. I believe it's going to be on Brodeur.
Yeah, you got to set that screen. You got to get there and get it set. But not only that, a lot of times, some coaches and other teammates blame the big. The guard has to wait as well. Right here, you got to wait just a click longer and let Bentley get set. Or I'm sorry, Brodeur gets set before you turn the corner. Not always the big's fault.
That is Brodeur's first. Something to keep an eye on. Should he get in foul trouble, that could be a major problem for the Quakers. And the miss for Brian Antoine, who checked in at the timeout. Another top recruit for this Villanova team. Working inside, Robinson Earl down with a rebound. Freshman to freshman. Gillespie with a big time take to the hole.
Finally, that right-hand drive pays off. They've had it multiple times already, Villanova.
Going to work, almost got shoved off his spot. Still going. How about keeping that pivot foot alive?
It's like the old Green Bay Packers sweep. You know it's coming, but you can't stop it. Everyone knows he's going to come back to his right. Earl sat on that right hand perfectly, but still was able to sidestep around it.
Gillespie drifted a little bit on the shot. Oh, big time rebound, and the putback for Slater.
I love this kid. We were talking about it last night at practice, Coach, you and I, and how you can put him in the game, and you know every time he's in, something good's going to happen. You don't have to run anything for Slater, and you can trust that something good, either for him or a teammate's going to happen.
Well, here's Gillespie. This year, he's getting to the rim more. He's finishing better. You stuck to his strength, Coach. He's certainly gotten stronger. Now, here we know. Brodeur's going right. You know it, but you can't stop it. Then, of course, the effort, crashing the board. Slater doesn't make put up big numbers, but he makes big plays.
He just got called for that foul at this end. Dingle dribbled it off his own foot, and Slater wins the race to the loose ball, resulting in an easy 2 at the other end. Quakers need a timeout as Villanova's fought its way back to a tie.
You ever wish you weren't a motor?
Sure. Sometimes I wish I had legs like you.
Yeah, is it like a regular person?
No. Still have bike half man. Just the opposite.
Was it legs on the bottom and motorcycle on the top? Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
For those who were born to ride, there's Progressive.
Welcome back, tied at 19 here at the Finn, the Villanova campus. I tell you what, guys, you can't make a mistake in this game. These two teams are so disciplined. They're so unselfish. This, to me, is the definition of beautiful team basketball. Three guys had an opportunity to lay that ball up, and the right guy got the bucket. Sadiq Bey has to thank his teammates for being great teammates. That right there, I know it sounds corny to a lot of people. That's Villanova basketball. But it's also Penn basketball, because both teams show you how unselfish they can be. That's what leads to their success.
Very unselfish teams, but Penn was clicking offensively. As soon as they turn it over, Villanova makes you pay. Very small margin of error when you play Villanova.
It's like working with Scott Graham. If I say one thing wrong, he just harps on it and doesn't let me forget it.
Not true, Scott.
I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. Down the lane, out of control, and they say it, last touch Villanova.
Sadiq Bey, versatile forward, strong to the basket, will rebound, go coast to coast, also muscle in the rebounds, just does so many things well. Consummate Villanova forward, can guard 5 different possessions, and can do whatever you want offensively.
He's got a game-high 8 points right now. Villanova is really active on this defensive end right now. Shot clock winding down. Bentley hit the runner, count it. And the foul called on Gillespie will give him an opportunity to 3-point play.
This shot clock was stuck on 4 for about 4 seconds. I'm surprised the bench of Villanova didn't say something. And this allowed Bentley to get this shot off, but that shot clock was stuck. It's still stuck at 3, which it shouldn't be. Take a look at the shot clock, guys. Up in your top left-hand corner, it's stuck there. That could have been all the difference in that layup. I'm surprised no one on that Villanova is still stuck.
So I lied to you when I said the shot clock is winding down. Ryan Bentley, 80% free throw shooter.
And the only reason I point that out is because in a game like this, you just have a feel that it could come down to the last possession or the last 2 or 3 seconds.
We shall see. Bey, the hot hand, got a size advantage inside. Good strength, and he's got 10.
Penn does not have a good matchup for Bey. You might want to try Monroe on him. He's the only one that might be able to match his physicality.
Eddie Scott trying to find a shooter. Villanova's doing a good job of closing to the perimeter. Not a lot of catch-and-shoot opportunities. Again inside, Brodeur, he is just amazing when he gets in close.
You know, he's, like you said, Coach, you know he's going to come back over that left shoulder. But because of the way he finishes and where he gets himself positioned at the beginning of the play, that helps him get that off.
And Moore, that was almost too easy down the lane for Justin Moore.
There was an emphasis in walkthrough. Don't settle on the pick and roll. Try to go to the rim. The way Penn covers that, Brodeur stays back, and you can challenge him.
Good quick hands for Colin Gillespie.
Brodeur, he's their all-everything. Going to be one of the greatest ever in that uniform. Knows his game, knows how to set you up. Nice jump hook, and the young fella, Justin Moore, hits the right-hand drive to go.
Humera patients, you inspire us. The way you triumph over adversity and live your lives. That's why we redesigned Humera. We wanted to make the experience better for you. Now there's less pain immediately following injection. We've reduced the size of the needle and removed the citrate buffers. And it has the same effectiveness you know and trust. Humera Citrate Free is here. A little change can make a big difference.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Ask your doctor about Humira Citrate Free. Here's to you.
Howdy, folks, it's dinner time. Chicken fried and tasty sides. All of this for just $20. Get it from a KFC. Howdy, folks.
Get a $20 fill-up delivered or at a KFC.
Motor?
Nope.
Not motor?
It's pronounced motor.
For those who were born to ride, there's Progressive.
Tie game, 7:29 left to go here in the first half at Villanova. The team with the second most Big Five titles in history. Penn won it last year. They've got 14. Temple is the all-time leader. Let's take you inside the huddle now with Villanova head coach Jay Wright.
Good job. We got to keep grinding, man. Keep grinding. All right, we got to be mentally tougher. We got to be mentally tougher. Too tired to defend. Give me a fist. All right, we got to grind at this end. We got to grind at this end.
And you have watched what they have done. They kind of turned the energy level up defensively, Coach, and figured out a way to get out on the perimeter. Penn is not getting a whole lot of easy catches, and they're certainly not getting catch-and-shoot opportunities.
Well, what Coach Wright was really emphasizing there, and it's something that Villanova's done great for years, is it's about every possession. Just no time off, being relentless. And you see Villanova going on runs. It's rare you see people go on runs against Villanova because of how they value possessions.
Penn has never won on the Villanova campus. 0 for 11 tries, and you get a foul call. And that is going to be on Brodeur. That'll be his second.
Well, Ryan Bentley, he really is the key to the game. He is the key to this team's success. I know we're talking about Brodeur and Dingle, but Bentley has spent most of his career injured. And to have him coming out with this performance early has to give so much confidence to Donahue's team and his teammates.
Correction, it's Cosby Roundtree. It's a Villanova foul as Penn keeps the basketball. And Brodeur trying to find a cutter. That's a great anticipation by Colin Gillespie. Moore, pretty move down the left side.
How about the hesitation? Got in the lane, hesitated. Brodeur thought he was going to pull up and actually backed off. Big time change of speed move.
5 ties, 6 lead changes. And Villanova looks to expand this 2-point edge. And that's going to be a late whistle and a foul call on Gillespie.
Very good defense by Jordan Dingle right there, squaring Gillespie up. Don't know if there was enough contact to call that, but hey, this kid right here, Moore. There's a lot of things we love about Jay Wright, but the fact that he can convince this kid to come off the bench and now he's having his most successful time of the year coming off the bench is huge.
16 fouls now for Villanova. Dingle was off balance and couldn't hit it.
I think that flopping and all those calls has really put the refs in a tough spot this year, guys. I know there's a lot of emphasis on the flops both ways, but a lot of that is still subjective. The thing that I think is interesting is that the rules committee, there's not one former official on that rules committee. Now, if I'm putting a committee together, I want the people on that committee that know it best. That's these officials. So people at home arguing about the officials and you're giving them a hard time, it's not them who make the rules. They just have to abide by them. So give these guys and stripes a little bit of room and a little bit of credit. They're doing the best they can.
There's Moore. That breaks a string of 5 made field goals in a row for Villanova.
Again, and don't judge me on the Scott Grant's his broadcast. You know, it's the same pressure that these refs feel.
Dr. John Giannini, I'm really glad you're here tonight.
I'm literally in the middle of this.
Yeah, you really are.
I hope I don't have to break anything up here.
I can't tell you how happy I am that you're here.
He needs a doctor. I don't know if you're a psychotherapist or what you are, but Scott needs one of those doctors, that's for sure.
Look at Bay inside again. No answer on him backing down and getting that close look.
Well, now they're really in trouble because that was against Lucas Monroe, who I think is the best matchup for Saddiq Bey. And Saddiq Bey saying, hey, put anyone on me, I'm going to work.
Brodeur got Cosby Roundtree in the air and an easy two as he blew by.
So when Brodeur has the ball in the perimeter, he's driving left all the time. When he's in the post, he's going right all the time. Cosby Roundtree should not have been surprised by that left-handed drive.
Spoken like a coach right there. You got to know the scouting report.
9 points for Brodeur. It's a good ball game now with under 5 to go in the first half. Cosby Roundtree trying to answer. And the tip rebound belongs to Penn.
And if you're Penn, you can live with that. If he's the guy that's going one-on-one, and Cosby Roundtree is a guy that's going to give you a little bit of everything, but not the scoring.
Penn's fine with you taking contested twos. They just don't want you to get in a rhythm on threes.
Cut to the basket, and there's an easy two for Monroe, and Jay Wright needs a timeout.
And you won't see better cutting teams.
Saddiq Bey has the size. We talked about it off the top. He just looks like a man amongst boys. Continues to do that. Great patience. Dribbles himself down. Mouse in the house. And then A.J. Brodeur looking like the vet that he is. Man, you can't fall asleep on that backside. Got a good one here, folks.
I'm a tailgater tailgating to get to my tailgate. But you're so busy watching me tailgate that you don't see the one in front of you. And if you cheaped out on your car insurance, well, it might not pay for this. So be better protected with Allstate.
4.5 left to go here till halftime, and there's no doubt that the crowd at the Finn, yet another sellout for Villanova. The 186th in a row. They're having a good time, and they're watching themselves a heck of a ball game right now. Bentley and Brodeur are the guys who are really carrying the load for Steve Donahue.
Well, not much of a surprise there, but we talked about this earlier. Both these teams, prolific three-point shooting teams, they know each other so well. We talked about play each other in the summer. They're staying with the shooters. This game's going to be won at the paint. So far in paint points, 10-20, Nova 18.
And that's going to be a foul call going back the other way. Gillespie just got hit for his third, and you can understand Jay saying, what did he do? That's 3 fouls on his captain and point guard. With still 4:24 to go till halftime. 2 of those fouls offensive. Down at that end of the floor on Colin Gillespie.
And now all of a sudden, guys, that playing field is a little bit more level with Gillespie on the bench. Who's going to run the show for Villanova is the big question.
It's a great question. Is it going to be Bey as a point forward, or are they going to let Moore take over the point?
Moore has played a little bit of point so far early in the season. Shot clock winding down, and it is this time. Bentley, it tickled the rim and fell away. On the ball reversal, Bey. What kind of night is he having?
Scoring at all 3 levels. Threes, mid-range, and on the blocks. Can't ask for anything more offensively.
15 points here in the first half. He had 22 in the season opener against Army. And there's the answer right back at the other end for A.J. Brodeur.
25% coming into this game is a much better shooter than that number, I believe. With space, he can knock him down. You got to find him.
What a fast-paced, entertaining first half this has been. That's the hot hand. And Bay, trying to stay that way, is going to go to the line, courtesy of foul call on Max Martins.
The Bigs activity, Sadiq, hey, from downtown, and then Brodeur. Listen, this is a big man's world, folks.
People with type 2 diabetes are excited about the potential of once-weekly Ozempic. In a study with Ozempic, a majority of adults lowered their blood sugar and reached an A1C of less than 7 and maintained it.
Oh, under 7.
And you may lose weight. In the same one-year study, adults lost on average up to 12 pounds.
Oh, up to 12 pounds.
A 2-year study showed that Ozempic does not increase the risk of major cardiovascular events like heart attack, stroke, or death.
Oh, no increased risk.
Ozempic should not be the first medicine for treating diabetes or for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not share needles or pens. Don't reuse needles. Do not take Ozempic if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Ozempic. Stop taking Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, itching, rash, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis. Tell your doctor if you have diabetic retinopathy or vision changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase the risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, and constipation. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
I discovered the potential with Ozempic.
If eligible, you may pay as little as $25 per prescription. Ask your healthcare provider today about once-weekly Ozempic.
Doesn't that cloud right there look like a penguin?
That looks just like your house. That's being burglarized. They're stealing your TV right there. Oh, and right there, it's a bear destroying your car.
You need a vacation.
You know, Chris, some of us don't have an off-season.
I am an Instagram boyfriend, but now that rolled chicken tacos are back at Taco Bell,
Sunset hard hands.
my hands are tied. Let's just enjoy this moment.
Take the picture.
Rolled chicken tacos are back with your choice of dips, only at Taco Bell.
Hey, I'm Mike Hill coming up on the Jeep Halftime Report. 5 Big East teams in action tonight. We show you the Xavier is off to a good start. Plus, number 21 Tennessee takes the floor in Knoxville. So join me, Jim Jackson, and Steve Lavin at the half. Right now, Scott, John, and Donnie, back to you.
All right, thank you, Mike. A look at the AP Top 10. Michigan made that colossal leap from unranked to number 4. They took one on the chin last night against Louisville, the top-ranked team in the nation right now. And don't forget that Ohio State team, they knocked off Villanova in Columbus a little bit earlier this year. Let's take a look at the playbook sponsored by Lexus.
Well, it's your two studs from Penn. The first one, Ryan Bentley, doing a terrific job. I was always taught no attack, no award. And both these players, Bentley and Brodeur, doing a great job of attacking the rim. 18 of Penn's 30 points, 8 of 13 combined. That is what you need on the road in an environment like this in the Big Five. Two guys really stepping up today, Coach.
Both teams having success offensively. When is one of these teams going to string together some stops? Guarding Brodeur, I just think you got to make him try to shoot with his left hand at least.
Sadiq Bey's got half of Villanova's points. He had their first 6 and 9 of their last 11. And he'll have one more try. Sophomore from Largo, Maryland. Good free throw shooter on the year at 75% coming into the game.
I think the way I would play Brodeur is I wouldn't gamble. I wouldn't try to go for a steal when he sticks the ball. I wouldn't try to swipe at it. I would stay on him. There wouldn't be any extra help. And just play man-to-man. Just me and you, we're going at it. But the way you're taught is to help. It doesn't matter who you're guarding. You have to help a teammate defensively.
Well, that's why he has 19 assists in the last 2 games. People help him, he finds them. But again, I think you got to sit on his right hand. Let's see if he can make a shot going left.
Shot clock down to 2. And that's a shot clock violation, but Villanova comes down with it, and they'll let him play on. Bey was doing some warding off and got it down inside to Robinson Earl.
So much to unpack there. First, Sadiq Bey just handles that ball like a guard. He gets you on that hip, the side saddle, and then makes the right decision. Oh, beautiful basketball. Got to see this again. I mean, Saddiq Bey doing a terrific job. The side saddle, you get Brodeur to bite, and then you drop the ball off to a teammate. And that is just, I mean, that's just great basketball. And Robinson Earl knows what to do with it down low.
Villanova was working on that today in shoot-around. And a traveling violation. Max Martz, the freshman, dragged the pivot foot.
So Martz made 5 out of 6 threes last game, and that's another example of the preparation of these two teams. They're just not going to leave these shooters open, force a shooter to dribble, and then maybe you end up with a traveling call.
2 of the Penn freshmen hit the bench. Villanova 6 points on the fast break and try to make good on another Penn turnover here. Bey. Too strong. Samuels jumping over everyone. And now Swider catch and shoot. First time he's had that look tonight, and that's the biggest lead of the night for Villanova.
Look, he had some injuries last year, Cole Swider, but the way he's approached this game this year, it's night and day. I mean, that transition from freshman to sophomore year, he's not overthinking it, catching and shooting, and you can see it in his body language.
Brodeur in the paint. Got pushed off his spot.
Good D.
Robinson Earl pushed him out and sat on that right hand.
Chance now for a first-half ending run for the Wildcats. Bey underneath. And Brodeur down with the rebound.
Everything but the basket. Wow.
Goodman short with his 3. So now Villanova, with about a 9-second differential between game and shot clock, they'll take their time as they sit on top of their biggest lead in this first half. Playing without Colin Gillespie on the bench with 3 fouls. It is Moore running the point. And the freshman down low. Freshman to freshman. And it won't fall. Penn's got an opportunity now with 9 seconds left in the half. Bentley can't hit. Fight for the rebound, and the foul call will be on Eddie Scott, going over the back with 1.9 seconds left.
Coach, was that quick? Was that a quick? I mean, do you think it's an okay shot by Bentley, or was that a little quick?
You know, I think for Bentley, it was a little quick, but if Bentley can get an open look, you take it, because defense is focusing on him. He's not going to get many looks better than that.
Long throw, tapped ball. That would count if it went. But it almost went out of the gym. So that is the end of the first half with our score. Number 23, Villanova 36, Penn 30. I'm going to send you to Mike Hill, Steve Lavin, and Jimmy Jackson in Los Angeles to the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report right after this. You're watching College Hoops on FS1.
Doug.
And now, for their service to the community, we present Limu Imu and Doug with this key to the city.
It's an honor to tell you that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. And now, we need to get back to work. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
With the savings rates offered at some banks, your money almost feels like it's frozen.
With Capital One, you can open a new savings account in about 5 minutes and earn 5 times the national average. This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
These little cups would make great stocking stuffers. But how about right now in your mouth stuffers? Happy holidays to your mouth. Not sorry. Reese's.
Let me get this straight. After a long day of hard work, you have to do more work?
Automatically sort your expenses and save over 40 hours a month.
Every day you're nearly fried to a crisp professionally.
You earned it. We're here to make sure you get it. QuickBooks, backing you.
What is a Villanovan? In 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top-ranked National University high. We think fast and stay connected. Ease up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go. Still with me? We climb corporate ladders in these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems. And we celebrate together. Ignite change. Go Nerds.
Want a better credit card? We've got you. The experts at NerdWallet compare hundreds of credit cards so you can narrow in on what matters most. From low rates to no annual fees, find and shop the best cards for you. For all your credit card questions, turn to the nerds.
This is a crate from KiwiCo. Each crate has an awesome science, art, or engineering project inside. Parents can order online and it ships right to your door. Learning has never been so fun or so convenient. Get your first month free at trykiwico.com.
You ready?
Yes.
Now.
Give it up for our first time riders. First ride. Let's do this. 5 days in a row. 6 a.m. Yay.
This holiday, give the gift of Peloton.
That was totally worth it.
Nerds. Want a better credit card? We've got you. The experts at NerdWallet compare hundreds of credit cards so you can narrow in on what matters most. From low rates to no annual fees, find and shop the best cards for you. For all your credit card questions, turn to the nerds.
They want to be at
Villanova on Baywatch, the sophomore with a huge half. Huge reason why they have the lead up by 6:30 over Penn at the half. As we welcome you to the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report. Mike Hill, Jim Jackson, and the coach Steve Lavin hanging out with you. A 6-0 run is the reason why Villanova has this 36-30 lead, but the only reason they're even in this position is because of the sophomore Sadiq Bey, as we take a look at the Jeep Grand Cherokee highlights from the first half. Steve.
Yeah, Sadiq Bey, a player that Jay Wright can utilize in different ways because of his versatility. A nice sharing the sugar there in tight, in transition. Here, using the shoulder, the body, taking his time to finish close, and then stepping away, showing the ability from long range. I love the pocket pass, playing in pairs, and of course, Robinson Earl finishes it off there with a good gather. So Villanova dealing with some foul trouble, Jimmy. They managed to get through it. I think they're in good place in terms of the second half.
They are in good place, especially I think the defense has to pick up a little bit more because in the first half, Penn was able to shoot for the majority part over 50%. Keep in mind, this is a team that beat this Villanova squad last year at the Palestra.
Yes.
You have 2 seniors and a junior in the starting lineup. So what you do, you may not have the superior athletes, but what you do is out-execute a team. The passes are on time and on target. They don't force a lot of jump shots or contested shots, and that's why they've been able to execute, I think, to a flawless effort a little bit in the first half against probably a more superior athletically gifted Villanova team.
These two teams, their campuses, 20 miles apart, too. So a lot of people around the country may not realize how competitive the backyard brawls are when it comes to this area of the country.
Oh, those 5 schools, I mean, that's that's what they really fight for every single year. More of the second half coming up, but Xavier's big crosstown rivalry with Cincinnati continues Saturday. Will they get caught looking past Green Bay tonight, though? We'll talk about that. Show you the highlights. Come on.
E2M.
What are we playing?
The Outer Worlds.
Oh, shrink 'em. Smaller. Shrink ray.
Whatever you're into, discover your next favorite game with Xbox Game Pass.
Join now and get your first 3 months for $1.
Make
Nationwide helps you invest for your future, Brad, so you can plan for retirement and save for college.
Oh, that explains this.
The Nationwide Dome, state-of-the-art venue, 80-yard screen, fantasy sports lounge, climate-controlled seats, sushi bar, club-level pool.
Really?
Lastly, retractable room.
Whoa.
Are you kidding me? Paytonville showed no mercy.
Go Paytons.
Kind of lackluster.
Yeah, still working out some kinks.
Who are they playing?
The Brads. Worst team in the league.
Of course.
Hey, come help your old man with the dishes. Stella?
Anytime I go,
Did I ever tell you this story of your Uncle John and I?
I try to bring my heart, but home is where it's at.
All money managers might seem the same, but some give their clients cookie-cutter portfolios. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to your goals and needs. Some only call when they have something to sell. Fisher calls regularly, so you stay informed. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management.
Unlock double XP with Mountain Dew and Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
It's time to make mopping history. Introducing the new BravaJet M6 robot mop. With an adjustable precision jet spray and advanced pad system, BravaJet breaks up messes and gets deep in corners. BravaJet, only from iRobot.
Against Kerry Blackshear Jr. in Florida. Wow! Saturday at 11:30 Eastern on Fox.
Incline's going high today. Woo! We are burning calories now.
The higher the incline, the higher the calorie burn.
We're gonna climb up right into the clouds. Absolutely stunning. Wow. Just take a moment to look at that. Nicely done. That hike was incredible.
The Nordic Track Holiday Sales Event starts now.
I've got a big family.
Okay, pick your head that way.
No, smile. That's a lot of people and pets to make happy this holiday. So I'm always looking for ways to save. With Chewy.com, I get low prices on all of my pet food and supplies. I find amazing deals on dog food for Dasher, cat toys for Comet, and biscuits for Bob. Even the shipping is free. With all that money saved, I can get a little something extra for everyone on my list.
Make their holiday dreams come true. Save 30% on your first order today at Chewy, where pet lovers shop.
Hey, more college news coming your way as undefeated DePaul. Coach Lavin called that. Battle Texas Tech. That's tonight at 8:30 Eastern on FS1 and on the Fox Sports app. More highlights around the nation. Green Bay and Xavier. Xavier's off to a good start. First half is Paul Scruggs.
Nice little jump shot in the corner, 5 early points in this game.
And with Green Bay down 2, Amari Davis, the art of the mid-range jumper. Tied at 7 early. It's a 2-point game. Green Bay on top. 7:26 to go in the first half. Florida A&M number 21 Tennessee, John Fulkerson. Shoot the J. Shoot it. Nice little see that? Yeah, I like that. Then it's Olivier Kamwa getting the rebound and puts it back. Volunteers up 3 at that time. They're rolling 22-6 right now, midway through the first half. North Carolina Central, Georgia, off the steal. Give it to me. Jabri Blunt in transition. Okay, that's nice, but I got to show you my man, Anthony Edwards. Well, this is Jim Jackson.
This is my man. I think right now playing like could be the #1 pick in next year's draft. Oh, yeah. Flashback.
Yeah, man. Freshman, reason why they're about 12 right now. Iona UConn, off the miss.
Got a good look, couldn't finish.
UConn gets it back. Tyler Polley. Huskies up 4.
Down to 3 in attack for Carlton.
Then later off the turnover.
And here comes
Christian Vatea. 2 hands to be sure. UConn up by 9 midway through the first. Ryan Bentley So if it's 9 points for Penn, they're in it. They're down by 6. Second half coming up right after this.
I can't believe it.
Has Sophie opened up a wormhole through time?
Elle va pas, non? Regardez-moi! C'est complètement de ta faute!
C'est moi! C'est ma faute!
No, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico.
Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
What a feast. Spiced ham, carb turkey, prime rib on the weekends at a price that lets me treat the whole family. Doesn't get more festive than that. Or does it?
Prime rib weekends at Golden Corral. The only one for everyone.
And a partridge.
Wrap it up, Derek. I've got a lot of shopping to do.
Best Buy has free next day delivery on thousands of awesome gifts.
Really?
Accidents will happen when you least expect them. Accidents will happen time and time again.
Introducing Wendy's 2 for $5. The only 2 for $5 with Wendy's fresh, never frozen beef and the spicy chicken you crave. Choose from the Dave's single spicy chicken sandwich, 10-piece crispy, or spicy nuggets. Pick any 2 for $5. Only at Wendy's.
Only Roomba i7 Plus uses 2 multi-surface rubber brushes and picks up more pet hair than other robot vacuums. And the filter captures 99% of dog and cat allergens. If it's not for my robot, it's not a Roomba.
Set my goals like a goal, hit the switch. Work, check do it big. Bigger. Hit it. Because there are those who don't and those who do. Let's do.
Just get my belts back and get all the belts. I've seen many of champions lose and come back.
This is going to be a war. They're going to be going after each other.
Do or die for him is do or die for me. It's all or nothing.
The World Super Welterweight Championship. Harrison versus Charlo. December 21st on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Wireless for $15 a month. That's not right.
It's right, all right. Carpet showers? That's not right.
That's not right.
Neither is the way you get wireless. Mint Mobile took what's wrong with wireless and made it right. We're easy, online, and right now, you can get any plan for just $15 a month. Only at mintmobile.com.
Welcome back to FS1 College Hoops, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. And here at Villanova, the number 23 Wildcats, 36-30 over the Penn Quakers at the break. This is really kind of an old-fashioned Big Five battle. Lots of ties, lots of lead changes, and really a bit of a slugfest in that first half.
I thought these guys did a great job of sticking to what the game plan was supposed to be. I really, on both sides of the basketball. But for Penn, it was really just that one guy that got them going, and that's their big down low.
Well, Brodeur's an all-time Penn great, and I thought this game would be decided in the paint because they're not helping off shooters. The best way to stop Brodeur, don't let him get the ball. Great denial on that possession. If he does get it, he favors his left hand up top, and the reason Penn's offense is smooth, They have the lane open because he can make a three.
Yeah, but on the other side, Sadiq Bey, they went on a 9-3 run with Colin Gillespie in foul trouble because of that guy right there. Making the right decision, 16-point scoreboard, set the tone with his early aggressive play.
Time for a first half stats sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Both teams shooting the ball around the same percentage. Points off turnovers clearly favor the Wildcats. Points in the paint, rebounding. If you expected Villanova to have a big advantage there, they have not.
Well, both teams only 3 threes apiece, well below their average. That's why it's a man's game. It's being decided around the rim.
And a quick takeaway. In transition, Swider, pretty shot fake. And that's going to be a third foul on any shot trying to prevent the easy basket. Now you've got Bentley and Brodeur. They're the 1-2 combination of veterans for Penn. They got 21 points. Bey and Gillespie, 2 big guys for Villanova. Now Gillespie, 3 fouls in that first half. And because of that, not starting the second half.
Coach Wright has to be thrilled. They built the lead from being tied to up 6 with Gillespie on the bench.
Nothing coming easy out on the perimeter all night. Here comes Bey down the lane.
That's a halftime adjustment that did not work. They tried switching Brodeur, their shot blocker, bigger player, onto Bey. And Bey proving, hey, Penn might not have a player who can stop him.
The fact that he doesn't settle for a 15-footer right here, he attacks the defense. Last year, Sadiq Bey would have shot that. No one on him. 3 feet in front of him, I'm shooting it. That is the right play. 11-3 run with Colin Gillespie in foul trouble on the bench because of guys, but most importantly, like Sadiq Bey.
Bey is just 3 points shy of his career high. And we just started the second half. Down the lane, Dingle. Hit hard from behind by Justin Moore. Keep an eye on Jordan Dingle. He's had big second halves the last couple of games for Penn.
I think he went to dunk this ball instead of getting that quick one up there, but he tripped a little there. That's a terrific job of turning the corner. The question has to be, where is the defense of Villanova on that backside? The answer is they're hugging the three-point shooters on the weak side. Great offensive set there for Donahue's guys.
Well, that's why we're going to continue to see physicality at the rim because, as you said, Donnie, they're not going to leave shooters. This game's going to be decided in the paint.
The last name Dingle sounds familiar to you. Dad was Dana Dingle of UMass fame, played in the 1996 Final Four, but Jordan just missed a pair of free throws. And just 1 for 5 from the line. Inside. Kiss off the glass. 21 points for Sadiq Bey.
Coming up on that career high. 22 against Army.
Marks has a strong body. I don't know if there's anyone he hasn't scored on against Penn yet.
That's Dingle from the outside, and that stops the bleeding for the Quakers. First 3 of the night for Jordan Dingle.
3 off the dribble is a tough shot, and I'm thinking he's big shot Dingle because here he stops the bleeding for Penn with a not easy shot.
Correction, his second three-pointer of the night. Down the lane. And somebody finally figured out a way to stop Bey. Those are the shooters on the outside. Dingle trying to get hot, but Robinson Earl clears the glass away. And Moore lost the handle in transition. Oh, wow. And oh, well, times 2. Huge burst to the basket. Big leap by Samuels. And Bey with an exclamation point for a career high.
Samuels with the block, then the assist.
You have to be resilient in this game. Remember what happens. You get your shot blocked at one end. Sadiq Bey comes right back. Same guy who blocked it. He blows by him. And the strong finish on the baseline.
He's taking a seat with all 7 Villanova points here in the first 2.5 minutes of the second half. Career high 23 and plenty of time left to go.
You know, analytics, dribblehandoff.com, great analytics site, shows Samuel's impact on Villanova's defense, tremendous.
Now the Villanova defense, as we just saw a timeout called. Villanova defense is holding Penn down here in the opening moments of the second half. They've got a double-digit lead here at home. You're a coach in this situation, John. You got your team starting to take control of this game. Is this where you're telling them put hard down on the gas?
Well, again, Villanova, every possession is the same for them. They really don't pay attention to the scoreboard. They're consistent. You got to score against Villanova. If you're missing shots or turning it over, they'll run on you.
Apparently, the officials are taking a look at something over at the table. And that's why we stopped play here. An extra timeout for both teams to get settled again. And I got to guess, Donnie, for Penn, a welcome timeout because, again, they don't have a whole lot of answers right now for what Villanova's doing.
Yeah, the only problem is Sadiq Bey is now getting some extra rest as he was just subbed out just before the timeout, getting some extended rest to get him back on the floor. But
two things. Again, having offensive success against Villanova is everything because they convert turnovers, they run off misses so well, and if you go scoreless for a couple possessions, go dry, now they're scoring. Now you've got that 6-10 point burst by Villanova. They do it all the time. You have to be offensively consistent against Villanova.
Penn's got it in the hands of their seniors. And Brodeur to work down the lane, fighting his way inside. And got there for a putback.
Well, first guy knows he's going to miss is the shooter. Goes right back after it. Knew he didn't really quite get it out of his hand on the first shot. Perfectly follows it up. That's a way to stick with it. Stick to itiveness, as they say in college basketball.
Well, he willed those couple of points. He's got 14 now, trying to keep his team in the game here with 17 minutes left. More great strength down the right side of the lane. And the foul call is on Devin Goodman.
Well, sometimes it's just not making an effort, but multiple efforts. There's the hard drive, then the quick second jump, second effort for Brodeur pays off.
Well, you said it earlier, Coach, a lot of contact, a physical game. And I love that guys aren't settling and saying, hey, ref, I got fouled. They're playing through the contact.
So if this is a shooting game, it could go either way. Villanova has said, this isn't going to be a shooting game. We're going to make this a physical game. And that's the biggest reason they have this lead right now.
Missed on the second, but I believe it was a lane violation. So ball back over to Penn now with a 9-point lead for the Wildcats, and Bay's going to check back in at the next whistle. Trapping pressure now. Villanova only showed this once or twice in the first half.
Donnie, we talked about how we like Slater. Slater's terrific on the top of that press.
Unforced error. Bentley just took his eyes off the ball. And back comes Bay now as Villanova gets it back.
Slater's got that length. You fall asleep a little bit, he can get a deflection, but that was just enough. That full court pressure to now make Penn speed up a little bit, and now the ball's going the other way.
That's the purpose of that press. It's to make it hard for you to get into your offense.
Moore posting up inside. Showed great patience. Swider had his shot blocked on the outside.
That's the one. Swider did it earlier. He had the shot fake. He should have shot fake there, put the ball down.
Long range. Dingle can't hit it.
Slater right in his face. That length. It's a different shot when you have a long guy in front of you.
There's so many things that don't show up in the stats. There's another one, keeping another rebound alive. I mean, look, he contests a shot, he keeps a rebound alive, Slater makes positive plays.
And a foul call from the contact goes on Penn's Jordan Dingle.
And there are a lot of guys in college basketball that you throw on the floor and just say, we're hoping something good happens. Slater's efficient. He's not just running around crazy out there. He understands his role. Plays the part so well for this Villanova team.
Unselfish, energetic.
On the turnaround, Robinson Earl can't hit. Backdoor cut again.
There he goes.
You got to know when that paint is wide open for a good 3-4 seconds, a back cut is going to happen. The problem is you just don't have any help back there to yell to you, here comes the cut.
Well, Bentley's such a good shooter. Your coach tells you all week, don't let Bentley get a three. Don't let Bentley get a three. So you're tight on him. That makes the cut easier for him.
And missing from in close is Bay, so the Quakers sticking around within 7. They got the basketball now with 15-10 left to go. They survived the first knockout punch from Villanova here in the half. Now Goodman gets his shot knocked away by Slater. Moore, quick first set.
Moore takes it right to your chest. You better be strong and in shape playing against this young fella.
Talk about strength for a freshman.
That's Goodman for 3. Got it from right in front of his own bench.
No lead is really safe against Penn either because of their ability to make threes. They can catch up quickly.
Now they're a team that not only prefers to shoot threes, they'll almost never shoot a mid-range shot unless it happens to be that guy, 25. Tip funnel is good. Robinson Earl hitting the offensive glass. He's got 7.
Something it's hard to teach young guys, either have it or they don't, to stick with the play, to not see a shot go up and then retreat back. And also to get in there, offensive rebound without fouling. So special.
Brodeur had a wide open look for that 3, passed up. Instead, the pick and roll.
So Goodman makes that 3. That's absolutely what Villanova does not want. Hence the lane gets open. Now Brodeur gets the easy 2. The 3s set up the 2s for both these teams.
Villanova once had a 25-game win streak in Big 5 play. Penn broke it last year, and they're trying to come back right now. Timeout for Jay Wright as the Quakers are within 4.
We got to take care of that basketball. This is turning into a game that's going to come down to whoever takes care of the ball best is going to win. You know they're going to make shots. You know Brodeur's going to be involved the rest of the way down for Penn. The steal in the passing lane. Big 5, folks. Got a good one here.
I saved hundreds on my car insurance when I switched to Geico. And this is how it made me feel. It was like that feeling when you go to taco night at your favorite restaurant, and they're the best tasting tacos in the entire world. And just when you think it couldn't get any better, they bring you out another taco because they made an extra one.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
A month after the lights went out.
Alexa, pause my podcast. Alexa, set the temperature at home to 71 degrees. And turn on the lights.
Alexa, call Mike. Thanks, hon. Have fun at work.
Introducing Wendy's 2 for $5. The only 2 for $5 with Wendy's fresh, never frozen beef and the spicy chicken you crave. Choose from the Dave Single Spicy Chicken Sandwich, 10-piece crispy, or spicy nuggets. Pick any 2 for $5. Only at Wendy's.
Continental tires are built for the road, connecting you to all of life's adventures. Whether you drive to live or live to drive, Continental tires deliver the performance you need to tackle those adventures with confidence. Continental Tire, for what you do.
What a feast. Spiced ham, carb turkey, prime rib on the weekends at a price that lets me treat the whole family. Doesn't get more festive than that. Or does it?
Prime rib weekends at Golden Corral. The only one for everyone.
You don't have to be from Philadelphia to understand what it is, but to feel what it is, maybe. Matt Gukas, Guy Rogers, Tom Gola, some of the great names in Philadelphia Big Five history. And we've got another one of those classic battles right now with Villanova leading by 4. And Donnie, the Quakers are coming back.
And they know who they are. I think that's the most important thing about a team like Penn. The elder statesmen, if you will, are putting the Quakers on their backs. Aggressive. They only average about 6 steals a game. But they understand when to take their chances. They don't throw the passes, those backdoor cuts. They don't throw it to their teammate. They throw it to a space on the cut. That's what makes Bentley, I think, so good is his teammates understand. Throw it to there. If I throw it here, he's going to catch up to it. And also, you talked about it earlier, Coach. His ability to make shots helps him get those backdoor cuts because as you're overplaying him, as most young guys are taught to do, he fakes you and goes the other way. Easy layup.
You're totally right. And those last 3 highlights, all seniors. Bentley, Goodman, Brodeur, no seniors on the Villanova team. So this Penn team's used to late game situations.
Well, there's pseudo-senior Colin Gillespie back on the floor now for the first time here in the second half with foul trouble. And Bay along the inside travel.
I'd like to see him go with that left hand high. He made one earlier. Can't overthink it.
4-point ball game. Just over 13 minutes to go and a tight one here in Nova.
Sunday on Fox. It's a heavyweight fight between title contenders. Jimmy G and the 49ers are ready to prove they're the favorite in the NFC. Brilliant. But Drew Brees and the Saints stand in their way. Touchdown. It all kicks off Sunday on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Must be hot out there, huh?
Not especially.
What you drinking?
Gasoline.
Right, but I mean, what's in the cup?
Gasoline.
For those who were born to ride, there's Progressive.
DiGiorno pizza bakes fresh in your own oven and travels straight to your table.
Unlike delivery that goes from oven to box to bag to car to traffic to wrong houses.
Nobody delivers a piping hot and crispy crust like a DiGiorno pizza. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Only one thing's more exciting than getting a Lexus, giving one.
Unbelievable. It really is.
The Lexus December to Remember sales event.
Lease the 2020 RX 350 all-wheel drive for $419 a month for 27 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
From the heart of New York City, Madison Square Garden. To be able to play in this arena, to get your heart going.
I feel like you're on the stage with the light shining on you.
In the Big East Tournament.
It's going to be a big-time atmosphere and a big-time game.
Everybody on their feet. You have to embrace the moment. You want to cut down the nets in Madison Square Garden.
The Big East Tournament at Madison Square Garden. Get tickets now.
Oh my God!
This is the SmackDown! That was the best performance I've ever seen on this show.
This is driving me insane.
The Masked Singer, all new tonight. Part of Fox's Not So Silent Nights.
Welcome back to FS1 College Hoops, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. 4-point ball game with just 13:07 left to go here at the Finneran Pavilion. We got more hardwood action coming your way next as Texas Tech battles surging to fall. That's next right here on FS1 of the Fox Sports app. And for the DePaul Blue Demons, they are right near the top of the surprise teams of the year, off to their best start since I was a senior in college. Come on. Yeah. Yeah.
I would have guessed you were much older.
Thanks, Donnie. Told you about the Michigan Wolverines, who went from unranked to number 4 and then to their first loss of the year. That Arizona team has already beaten Penn this year on the way to their 9-0 start.
What's your alma mater, Scott? I forget.
It's one of the 2 teams that's out on the floor right now.
I forgot. Peach baskets back then when you were in school, or you half court? What were they doing?
I was the guy who sat on the ladder and took the ball down. Dingle stepping into one. That's a big 3. We've got a 1-point game.
Those threes off the dribble are like no, 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 yes.
Gillespie, after a long seat on the bench with 3 fouls, steps right into a three-pointer to answer back. That stopped the 7-0 Quaker run. Off the screen, little teardrop for Goodman in the lane.
So as Penn's having some offensive success, now Villanova has to attack the set defense. And Brodeur's not blocking shots inside, but he's making a lot of people miss, forcing a travel. Penn settling in on both ends of the court.
Gillespie just flat lost the handle of the ball as he was heading down toward the baseline. Miscommunication on the handoff.
It's either going to be about taking care of the ball or too much airspace for good shooters. Dingle, great job there stepping back, and then Colin Gillespie, after a long stint on the bench, coming out hot.
You don't fight fair, so we'll just fight harder.
We didn't come here to play around.
You're going down.
Honestly, I hate you.
I'm stronger than you.
I'm more determined than you.
We're going to beat you, Cancer.
Because the American Cancer Society is on our team.
And together, we're unstoppable.
My name is John Calipari. I'm Roy Williams.
I'm Jim Boeheim. I'm Tubby Smith.
And I'm a coach versus cancer.
Don't freak out, but you can get 50% off all menu price pizzas when you order online at Domino's right now.
Right now?
Right now?
Right now?
Right now?
Yes, right now.
50% off, honey! Right now!
Now through the end of the week, get 50% off all menu price pizzas when you order online at Domino's.
Imagine a financial partner fully invested in your success. Someone with a personal interest in helping you reach your goals, wherever they might take you. You and Baird. Imagine where we can go together. Visit Baird100.com.
Watch this, ready?
And it's boom drop time for Kofi.
How much does that say about Kofi Kingston?
Eating better is easy when everything is done for you. Meet Freshly, chef-cooked meals ready in minutes. Choose from a weekly menu crafted by our chefs and nutritionists, and we'll deliver fresh to your door. So skip the meal prep, cooking and cleaning, and start eating healthy without the hassle. To order your chef-cooked meals, go to freshly.com today.
You got the waffle maker? There's a better way to sell your stuff.
Check out Mercari, the selling app. You can sell almost anything. Just take a few pics, add a description, and boom, it's listed. Stuff gone, money in the bank.
Sell it, ship it, and get paid with Mercari.
Happy holidays, Peloton. Welcome to my 20-minute ride this morning. Riders around the world, let's create some magic.
Our kind of joy feels different. This holiday, give the gift of Peloton.
Experience. With 1.3 seconds left to get into the corner. Three, no good, it's over! The Quakers have snapped Villanova's 25-game Big Five winning streak.
That one was in the Palestra last year, the home of the Penn Quakers and the longtime home of the Philadelphia Big Five, where every game was played. Since Penn started coming to the Villanova campus in 1987, they are 0-11, but they're 8 for 13 this half. They've made 5 straight buckets. They're on a 9-3 run. Steve Donahue's team is right in this ball game now, down 2 with just under 12 to go.
Well, Villanova's 25-game winning streak was going to end at some point. No better place than in the historic Palestra in front of a split house. Coaching is unbelievable. You have 4,500 fans of Villanova, 4,500 for Penn. The place goes crazy every play. No better place for that Big Five Classic to occur. But if Penn were to pull this off, that's actually more impressive to me, to do it on the road with a laser-focused Villanova team.
You saw the 3 leading scorers. That is the guy who's been the hot hand late in games for the Quakers this season, but Dingle missing again from 3. Gillespie. Aggressive take inside, and now Samuels has a size advantage and uses it.
A really good move. I thought he was going to go to the left hand, but when you have the size advantage, once you elevate, you can use either one. Under control, that's exactly what Nova needed. You can see what they're trying to do. They're not settling for long-range jumpers. They're using their size and strength.
Brodeur up and under. And the tap back. The Quakers get it back at a new 20. Backdoor cut again. And Dingle pays it off. For the third time tonight, the Quakers get an easy backdoor cut.
And just great basketball, and I'll tell you why. Not because it was a basket, but because the backdoor cut came off of a broken play, off of an offensive rebound. It's easier to run a set play backdoor. But to get your guys in order and run that backdoor to success is awesome.
And nice touch on top from the freshman Jeremiah Robinson Earl, who has been fairly quiet here tonight. He's got 9. Brodeur's caught under the basket. Doesn't matter.
Have to understand he's always going to come back to his right hand.
I think that is what Jeremiah Robinson Earl just heard from the bench. Minutes of basketball to go. There goes Bay again. And following his own miss. Career high 25 for Saddiq Bey.
Concerted effort to use your strength, put your head down under control. You know the refs are watching for offensive fouls and flops, so you have to play smart.
Dingle had the pick and roll, didn't throw the pass, but instead drew the contact.
Love this. This is why. This was off an offensive rebound. They get themselves into their positions. Nice backdoor cut. To me, this is like a tennis player with no backhand. He's got a great forehand. It's got a great forehand overhead smash. He's going to it, and then Saddiq Bey continues to have a brilliant game. I really believe, guys, long season. I know the season is very early. It's early in the season, very young. But I believe we're seeing a player starting to bloom early, starting to blossom, if you will, in Saddiq Bey. He looks like a pro to me in this game, and not just because of his points, but because of the way he's handling himself, playing unselfishly, playing the right way. He looks like something I've never seen in this kid before. You have glimpses sometimes. I've never seen anything like this from Saddiq Bey.
Well, I completely agree, and something we haven't seen is his ability to play the point. There's so many things Bey can do, physically and with his IQ.
Inside, Moore. Can't get it to fall, and the Quakers can tie or take the lead on this possession. They close to the shooter, but Bey is going to get called for the reach-in foul.
And for Moore, I want him to Google or Wikipedia George Mikan. I know you guys understand, but that's a drill that if you want to be good around the basket, I think you have to practice. It's the Mikan drill.
Great quick hands and anticipation from Robinson Earl. Swider. Got it.
How about the size on the floor right now for Nova? 6'9", 6'9", 6'9", 6'7", 6'5". I mean, that is a big lineup for Nova.
Dingle in among those trees, but he's fouled, and that's the third on Saddiq Bey.
Well, Swider wants to be known as more than a shooter. He's worked on his strength, and there you see the smooth post action, easy jump hook.
Talking to Jay Wright about Cole Swider, and I asked whether it was confidence. He said, no, he's always been confident. He's more decisive now than he was last year. I thought that was a good way to put it.
And when you have an injury, when you come back, it's hard to really get your confidence back.
That's a pretty move by Ryan Bentley with the right hand.
And this actually, an old Jim Calhoun thing. It's hard to be confident without strength.
Yeah.
And I just think that Swider's a physically stronger player, and that's feeding his confidence.
Your Jim Calhoun stories will work this time of night. Mine will have to wait till after 10 p.m. and the kids go to bed.
Robinson Earl squared up, can't hit it. Big rebound by Swider. can't get the putback, but Robinson Earl does.
I think we're seeing a Villanova team that I'm not so sure Jay Wright knew that he had with length and size, and doing it without Colin Gillespie on the floor.
This is his power lineup. This is like it's 4th and 1, and you just got to muscle the other team, and it's working for Villanova.
Bentley catch and shoot, missed on it badly, and Swider another rebound. Samuels on the drive. Everything but the bucket for Jermaine Samuels. Oh, what move by Dingle. Hey, this is a heck of a ball game.
Recognition, he saw the 6'9", Robinson Earl on him, and he says, hey, no power forward's going to stick me.
13 for freshman Jordan Dingle in a 2-point game with 7:07 left to go. Unstoppable. He's got 27.
Easy money. Sadiq Bey. Anything he wants.
It seems like Villanova's outplaying Penn, but the score's tight because it's 2s and not 3s. Penn can live with the 2s.
Samuels is steal. Looking for help. Takes it himself. And a blocking foul is going to send Samuels to the free throw line.
The energy at the bench. This I call the dingle dangle. Left you hanging there. And on the other side, Sadiq. Woo! Strong, young fella, strong.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top-ranked National University high. We think fast and stay connected. Ease up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go. Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems. And we celebrate together. Ignite change. Go Nova.
Wireless network claims are so confusing. America's best network. The best network is even better. The best deals on the best network. How can everyone be the best? Well, Sprint's doing things differently. They're offering a 100% total satisfaction guarantee. While I think their network and savings are great, you don't just have to take my word for it. Try it out. Decide for yourself. Hurry in for exciting holiday deals and save your family money. Get both an unlimited plan and one of the newest phones included for just $35 a month.
Doug.
Hour 36 of the stakeout. As soon as the homeowners arrive, we'll inform them that Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, so they'll only pay for what they need. Your turn to keep watch, Lima. You wake me up if you see anything. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
We continue to look at our history and heroes of the Big Five. Jameer Nelson from St. Joseph's, Mark Macon from Temple, Lionel Simmons from LaSalle. If you're making an all Big Five all-time team, those three guys might be right in the center of it. Four-point game now with 6:37 to go. Your game reset. Villanova only has 2 timeouts left. They do have the possession arrow, and both teams with 5 fouls, but 3 fouls for Colin Gillespie, 3 for Sadiq Bey. Jordan Dingle starting to heat it up in the second half.
Oh, by the way, he's a freshman.
He's a freshman, but you can't tell him that. He's showing skill here. There's the explosion of power. He showed high IQ on the backdoor cut. He's a freshman in name only.
I called during that timeout the trademark offices. I'm going to trademark the dingle dangle. He crosses you over and leaves you going that way. Boy, he's strong. I don't even think you have to say he's smart. You can see that in his play. But his body language is always great, even when he's not making shots. He makes that shot, Coach, that you talk about off the dribble from three. It looks so just effortless and easy. He really is playing beyond his years so far. It's only going to get better.
He's got 12 here in this second half as Samuels goes to the line for a two-shot foul. Learn how the American Cancer Society is teaming up with coaches at coachesversuscancer.com. Samuels just 63% on the year, 0 for 2 with the tap back. And a fresh shot clock for Villanova.
None other than Sadiq Bey tapping it out.
And Moore earns a trip to the free throw line.
The mic and drill, young fella. The mic and drill.
Is that a New England accent on that?
Left hand, right hand. I mean, I don't have a running tally, but I'm guessing 5 maybe missed at the basket. And this is what we were taught at UPenn and Jim Calhoun. I would tell you the guy who really preached it every day was Howie Dickinson. And it's you stand under the basket, you're facing the baseline, you go off with 1 foot right hand, you catch the ball on the net, go up with the left hand, catch it out of the net, right hand, left hand, and you continue to do it. It gives you feel around the basket.
You know, it's
George Mikan was great at those.
The funny part is Villanova does the Mikan drill as they start practice.
He might have to put some more time in.
I have to come up with a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar drill. But that's really only one thing. Skyhook to the baseline. Shot clock winding down. Bentley can't hit on the 3. That was a big one, down 5. Great defensive adjustment by Brodeur. A foul called on Bey. That's number 4.
It's a tough one here. Bey, you got to go to the left hand. You just have to. And that's a tough one right there. I think Bey was just trying to get out of the way. I think you could let that one breathe. You can play on, especially in a game like this.
Yeah. Brodeur's known for his offensive productivity, but he's such a good defender. Not just when he blocks shots, when he makes them miss.
And that's another unforced error on Bentley, who couldn't come up with the pass and kicked it back into the backcourt.
You know, Gillespie was matched up on Bentley on that play, and Gillespie's the kind of guy at crunch time, he'll say, let me stick Bentley. Made it tough for him to get that catch, and I think Gillespie had a part in that turnover.
Robinson Earl backing his way in on Brodeur. Got him. 13 down for the freshman.
Another freshman beyond his years was so patient, just back Brodeur under the baskets where he couldn't use his length to block the shot.
Fans wanted to travel. They didn't get it. Ball knocked out of bounds. Back to Penn.
Love the patience. And this tells me it's something you can't teach. When you have your freshmen that come in and they understand you don't have to be in a hurry. No one can do anything until you make a move.
Post play's not about quickness. It's about patience and strength.
Oh, what a move by Goodman through the lane. 4 Quakers in double figures now. Goodman with 11. Under 5 to play in a 5-point game. Villanova continues to pound it into the paint.
That young fella.
Talk about patience and strength against a high-level defender in Brodeur.
When was the last time you saw Villanova with only 10 3-point attempts and only 2 here in the second half? 3 won't fall for Brodeur, but Mart's a big offensive rebound. Dingle for 3.
Scott, to answer your question, it's been a long time, and it's also been a long time since we've seen a player like Moore in a Villanova uniform. A guy that really keeps that dribble alive at that guard position. He's so strong, wants to get you down low and score on you.
Gillespie around the screen. Robinson, oh my. That's going to be an offensive foul. We've talked about point of emphasis all year. And in that case, was it the head that went back first or the back that went back first?
Well, who can play mistake-free the rest of the way is going to win this game. And you can't allow easy baskets like that, but more finally getting one to go from close range. And Dingle, you got to find it if you haven't figured that out by now. This is a battle. It is tough. It's not over either, folks.
It takes a lot to earn a gold jacket. I needed to step up and play with heart and determination to catch 1,325 footballs. I keep those memories close to help me get to where I'm going. I told you I keep those memories close. Hey, I counted those.
GMC kickoff show at 8, followed by Thursday Night Football.
It was a tough call, but our new senior VP goes to Mike.
This wasn't the first time Claire had been passed up for the promotion. But it would be the last time. Upload your resume on Indeed.
Sometimes the only thing better than the perfect shot is knowing that no one is keeping score. Do it for the cheers.
Doesn't that cloud right there look like a penguin?
That looks just like your house. That's being burglarized. They're stealing your TV right there. Oh, and right there, it's a bear destroying your car.
You need a vacation.
You know, Chris, some of us don't have an off season.
What is a Villanovan? In 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top-ranked national university high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go. Still with me? We climb corporate ladders in these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change. Go Nova.
DePaul, of course, one of the big surprises early this season, and this guy, Charlie Moore, is a huge reason why, trying to get the Blue Demons to 9-0 against last year's national champion runners-up Texas Tech. It's coming up next after you're done in Philly, fellas.
Now Mike DePaul off to their best start in awful long time, 33 years. Charlie Moore and Paul Reed both on the Big East honor roll this week, coming off big weeks, and try to push it to a 9-0 start to begin the season for the Blue Demons. Villanova by 4, 3:48 left to go in this game.
I just want to say great job, and not because he was my coach at UConn, but Dave Lato doing a phenomenal job at DePaul. They lose Max Strus and Eli Kane, and then they come back with this season the way it started. Phenomenal job by Dave Lato on his staff.
You saw the foul trouble. Sadiq Bey has got a career high in this game, 6 with 4. Everybody else with 3 now. Under 4 minutes left to go.
Coach, take care of the ball. You got to make your free throws, and I'm talking more to Penn down the stretch here.
Well, free throw shooting has plagued Penn the last couple of years. In spite of being a good shooting team, they were the worst free throw shooting team in the Ivy League last year. But both teams shooting a high percentage, 58% for Penn, 54% for Villanova, and they can't help, so they got to come up with individual defensive stops.
More aggressive for Villanova coming out of the timeout with some trapping pressure. They are over the limit, and it's going to bring a 1-and-1 for the Quakers now. With 3:41 to go, Brandon Slater called for the personal. And Bay is going to check back in now with the 4 fouls.
And here comes the free throw shooting for Penn. It'll be huge down the stretch.
Villanova led by 6 at halftime. Penn's only gotten as close as 1 back. That ball off the hand of Bay, and back it stays Penn's way with 20 put on the timer and 3:40 left to go.
Sometimes luck is a part of winning, too. They get that extra possession just with the glance of the ball off of Bay's hands.
Dingle on the pick pick and roll. Great anticipation by the freshman. Robinson Earl trying to go coast to coast, and it poked free from behind, and it's going to stay the same way.
That's a tough one. I thought that ball should have gone the other way, but this is good defense. The young fella getting his hand in there. He's tired of seeing that backdoor cut. Learn your lesson one way or the other. And Villanova, I think, got a break here with this ball being their possession.
This is Moore. Posted up on Dingle.
I mean, Dingle's strong. Moore's just taking it to another level. A couple inches taller and just muscles in another post move.
He's listed at 6'4", 210. Justin Moore carries himself like a bigger and stronger player. Straight cut down the lane for Goodman. And a quick timeout for Steve Donahue in a 4-point game.
There's nothing really you can do about this. You know they're not going to help. You got to just play man on man. And then here you have to understand, you can hear coaches, it echoes in my head, stay connected. Stay connected. As soon as you turn your head, the good ones, especially the seniors for Penn, they're going to cut back door and they make you pay.
Well, because they're not helping, it comes down to one-on-one defense. When you're playing one-on-one, you can't get back cut for a layup. When you're playing one-on-one, you can't let your man beast you in the post. So it's really going to come down to winning one-on-one battles defensively for both these teams because they're not helping off the shooters. And I think that's helped both teams. As we predicted, it's a man's game in the paint today. Got to win one-on-one battles defensively if you want to win this game.
Jay Wright knew that his team was in for a fight tonight. An experienced Penn team with some talent and games in their back pocket against teams like Alabama, Arizona. They have not backed down. But Villanova's controlled the second half by a small margin. Moore driving, foul, three-point play opportunity for the freshman.
That was a set by Coach Wright. That was an isolation at the top of the key. They like that matchup with Moore against Dingle. They scored on it last time. They go right back to it again. The ball's in the middle of the court, impossible to help. Dingle's on an island, and Moore makes another play.
What I love about Justin Moore is he's not only a defender's nightmare in the low post, he's a referee's worst nightmare because how do you got to call a different game when you have a player like Justin Moore who just attacks the defender's chest. You get up in the air, now it's who's ever stronger.
Moore's got 17, and that could have been a knockout blow. We'll see. Gillespie tried to make it that way as he got a hand in the passing lane.
No, Gillespie plays this perfectly well. First against Moore, he's a handful. There you see him scoring against Brodeur, the shot blocker. Now Dingle, freshman on freshman, two strong guys, but Moore just too strong in the paint today for Villanova, for Penn.
Moore's got 11 here in the second half. Shot clock down to 6 now. Dingle playing with 4 fouls and a deep 3 ball. Rebound for Villanova. They control it now with 2:05 left to go.
And that's fitting because Slater poked that ball away, took about 3 seconds off the shot clock, and then that ball comes right to him on the rebound. Again, that utility guy can do a little bit of everything for Villanova.
I think they're going to go back to Moore.
Gillespie on the drive. Shot clock at 5. Robinson Earl up and under with the left hand. No.
Good defense. Brodeur just stands his ground.
And a window there for the Quakers. With just over 90 seconds left. Bentley misses from in close. Gillespie on the take to the hole. He'll go to the free throw line.
I love that. Gave a little bit of extra at the end. Give him a little yell. There was contact. Sold it perfectly. Chance to knock down a couple of free throws. And you can see in this game, even with the foul trouble, how Colin Gillespie has turned into the leader of this Villanova squad because he plays at an even keel. He's not overly emotional. Love that out of your point guard.
That hesitation dribble from the wing. That was a move perfected by his old mentor, Ryan Arcidiacono, who does his business in the NBA with the Chicago Bulls now.
Jalen Brunson learned it from Arch, and now Gillespie's just running with it.
Brunson and Arcidiacono among the 8 guys who began the season on NBA rosters for Villanova. 11 for 15 from the line, and right now it's desperation time for Penn with 70 seconds left. They don't have time for this. Goodman, they've got time for that. Stops the clock and a chance at a three-point play.
I understand analytics and data and all that good stuff, but this is the time of the game where I think you're going to struggle because you need threes, not twos. Now you got a chance if you're Penn for a three-point play, but when you're down this much, 2-point baskets aren't going to help you as much as at the rim, if you will. And when you talk about the analytics stuff, you got to get some threes up.
Well, you have to take what the defense gives you, and Villanova's staying with shooters. Goodman has figured out he's the quickest player on the court, so he's getting to the rim. But I'll look for a set coming down for a three, as you alluded to, Donnie. I think Coach Donahue has to pull one of those out.
Yeah. Next question is, will there be a Penn foul? And Goodman hanging on to Gillespie, commits that foul. So Colin Gillespie's going to get a one-on-one opportunity with 57.2 left.
Villanova is one of the best teams when you talk about taking what the defense gives you. After a while, the defense is giving you nothing, but you have to, especially Villanova's defense, late in the game, you have to force the issue. You really do.
I'm a little surprised because Penn does have some three-point set plays in their bag. I'm surprised they haven't gone to some of those a little earlier.
There wasn't as much show and go, get your defender in the air, get the next guy, and then find the next guy. There was more individual three-point shooting in this game for Penn.
Well, they've played their continuous offense, but they do have a few set plays for Bentley. We'll see if maybe they run one of them here. If it's just right to the basket, try to get a quick two.
It's a 3-possession game as Dingle picks it up across half court. Straight to the basket. That won't go. Big rebound for Colin Gillespie. And a quick foul. He's going to shoot 2 now. Wildcats hoping they are getting out of here with a W tonight. They've got another part of the Big 5 schedule on Saturday, just down the street at St. Joseph's, up to Newark, New Jersey for Delaware, and then a big game against Kansas at the Wells Fargo Center.
Believe it or not, games like this against a Penn team that you can't really compare the physicality with, I think they prepare you more for a Kansas game because it's more of a thinking man's game, if you will, when you're playing against a team like Penn on both ends of the floor.
So many teams now just are dribble drive and pick and roll, pick and roll. Penn forces you to guard the cuts and guard off the ball. Villanova's going to be a more disciplined team defensively off the ball after this game.
Colin Gillespie has been clutch from the line in the closing seconds. Villanova's letting them roll the ball across half court before they start the clock. But again, Penn is short on time. Bentley nearly lost it twice. And the three won't fall for Devin Goodman. Slater, he's going to attack. And fouled with 29.8 to go. In a 10-point game, chance to put it away. Now, it's going to be exam time for Penn. They come back against Widener, then at Howard, and then the Ivy League schedule begins with back-to-back games in less than a week against Princeton.
So many positives for Coach Wright. The fact that they made runs without Gillespie in the game, seeing Bay emerge as a potential star, seeing Moore have a strong game, seeing the attention to detail limiting Penn's three-point shooting. A lot of positives for Villanova to take away.
Goodman's got it, but it's down to 26 seconds left to go on an 11-point game. Bentley off balance. Air ball on the three. And Steve Donahue saying, back it out. That's going to be it. Gutty effort tonight from Penn here at Villanova. But the Wildcats are going to walk out with win number 6 on the year. A career-high 27 from Sadiq Bey, and Villanova wins it by 11.
Yeah, really well-played game from both sides. Both gained a lot. I know you don't want to come out of here with a loss if you're Coach Donahue, but you learned a lot about your team in this game.
Final score, Villanova 80, Penn 69. Now let's go to Mike Hill in Los Angeles.
And we'll be taking you to Chicago to show you one of the hottest teams in the nation, off to a very surprising 8-0 start. That's the DePaul Blue Demons. Best start since the 86-87 season. Paul Reed, huge reason why, double-double averaging this season. He's got 6 on the year. That's third best in the nation. It's DePaul, Texas Tech, coming up right here in about 17 minutes on FS1. Meanwhile, it's Mike Hill, it's Jim Jackson, Steve Lavin. We'll hear from Coach Jay Wright after their 6th victory of the season, and it was tight. Even though Villanova had that 11-point lead at the beginning of the second half, Penn stood right in there, man. But Sadiq Bey, he was thorough throughout.
Well, he was, but you go back to why it was tough, because you had some seniors on this team that beat, Penn, that beat Villanova last year, so they were comfortable going in and playing, but a lot more on Sadiq Bey, the progression of a player and how they improved. You knew last year that Sadiq Bey could play, but at what point would he begin to feel comfortable and take over? I think you've seen that maturation process begin now in this sophomore season, averaging 14 points, had 27 tonight, but it's all about the efficiency in which he's playing. Over 50% from field goal shooting, over 47%. I think it is for his 47% for three-point shooting and 78 from the free throw line. You're talking about improving as a player in all statistical categories. It was on full display this evening.
Yeah, and that's really been a hallmark of Jay Wright's teams, is player development from year to year. I thought tonight, such an interesting study in terms of contrast of styles. 2 excellent coaches, Steve Donahue, who's had success in the Ivy League at Cornell, now at Penn, was a longtime assistant under Fran Dunphy at Penn. And Jay Wright knows playing a game like this helps his team learn, and you're still able to get the win. And these are the games you grow from.
Yeah. All right, let's bring in the 2-time national champion, Coach Jay Wright. Joined us here after his 6th victory of the season. Jay, thanks for joining us. It's Mike Hill in the studio. And you got good contributions from Moore, Robinson, Earl there in the second half. But Sadiq Bey, he was the difference throughout this game. We was just talking about his maturity from his freshman to his sophomore season. Where is the biggest growth in development that you've seen from his freshman to his sophomore year?
Just confidence, Mike. Confidence in decision-making. You know, Penn is such a good team, man. They're so tough to play. They make it very difficult for you. They make you play ugly. They make you play one-on-one. And you got to make good decisions. I thought he was great tonight. And when he decided to keep and when he decided to score, when he kicked it out, that was big for us tonight.
Jay, it's Lav here. Congratulations on the win. One of the elements that really intrigued me was you going into the game must have felt, or maybe it was as you went through the first half, you had an advantage in terms of foot speed, and given the freedom to Sadiq Bey and your guards to really attack their feet and make plays off the bounce, and even keeping that dribble alive for longer than we traditionally see your teams do.
You know what, Lav? It's a Big 5 game. You know, they know us extremely well. These guys play against each other in the summer. They know what everyone does. So they really take away threes. Like they are so good at not allowing you to make any passes once you put the ball on the floor, and it makes guys uncomfortable. And that's what I was really proud of our guys. They kept their dribble and made good decisions.
Coach, what's up? Jimmy Jackson. I see you kind of taking it conservative a little bit on the wardrobe. I appreciate that. It's still early right now. Hey, but listen, offensively.
Jimmy, I told you, man, I'm getting older. I'm giving this to you guys. You guys are taking over. I'm counting on you guys. You see Donnie Marshall tonight, man? You should see him here.
He's clean, man.
You guys, Jimmy, Lav is always classy.
Yeah. Okay, listen.
To you guys.
Listen, back to basketball real quick. Offensively, still running a lot of the same sets that you're accustomed to, but I see more of a concerted effort to get the ball inside the paint off the dribble. How much has that changed in philosophy so you're not shooting the three as much as you have in the past?
It is different. We're just a different team. We have more size than we've ever had. You know, not really at the center position, but at all the other positions. So, you know, we're not just not the same team, like a 4-guard, quick team. And therefore, we're stronger at taking the ball to the rim, and we're stronger. I think we can even get a better post-up game.
All right, Jay, thanks so much, man. Go to 6-2 on the season. Thanks for hanging out with us. The mature, still a little more conservative.
I'll watch you the second time.
But still suave, Jay Wright hanging out with us here on FS1. Good luck against St. Joe's, another Big Five opponent coming up on Saturday for Villanova. And you talk about Villanova and their dominance over the Big Five over the years. I know they lost last year to Penn, but they've been able to do a great job against the Big Five. And that's important winning in that city. You look at that right there. Look at that record that he's got. That loss last year ended a 25-game Big Five win streak, as a matter of fact.
Well, it's funny because Temple went through that time when they were kind of dominant in that era of Big Five. I know LaSalle had a lot of success, but to have the bragging rights, not just from a coaching perspective, but a lot of the players play against each other, see each other over the summertime. And you do want to be able, because it means so much in Philadelphia basketball, to be able to win in those such environments, that having a leg up is something that you shoot for.
Absolutely. In recruiting. Yep. And oftentimes, these are players that have grown up together and played against one another from their youth all the way through college. And so they're bragging rights even for the guys that go on to the NBA in the locker rooms and give each other in terms of who dominated in these games.
You gave us a geography lesson at halftime. How far is it?
Actually, 19.2 miles.
19.2.
I rounded it off.
You rounded it off?
You know, the analytics are there. You know when it comes to miles between campuses.
This man is a human Waze. That's what he is, a human GPS.
It's all about the cell phone.
The Big Five is one thing. The Big East is another thing. Villanova's more concerned about that. Of course, Xavier's going to be one of those teams that's competing against them to win the championship this year. And Amari Davis taking it to the hole right there. Phoenix up by 1. They're playing Green Bay, and Najee Marshall throwing down the lob here.
Out of bounds play. Najee going up to get it. Easy too. You're 0-footer.
High percentage looks.
Tight ball game. Just a 3-point ball game. Started the second half until Paul Scruggs knocks that one down. And Xavier's starting to pull away right now. 63-50, 8:37 to go there in the second half. As we take a look at the Big East standings, look, Butler, Butler, DePaul, didn't expect those two to be on top. You knew Xavier was going to be there. Seton Hall, Villanova, of course, and St. John's off to a good 7-2 start. But wow. New Seton Hall, new Villanova, Xavier, man. But give me some other contenders that can actually win the conference this year.
Yeah, you know, it's early, but since we've got to play this game in terms of the crystal ball and making predictions, I'm going to say that other than Georgetown and St. John's, all 8 teams, the other 8 teams in the league are going to be competitive. But I do think there's 5 teams that we're looking at just in terms of personnel and the way they're built, in terms of being able to win a conference championship, which is different. As Jimmy talked about earlier today in our production meeting, winning the league, an 18-game schedule, so different than getting hot for a weekend, which I think there are 8 teams capable of getting hot for 3 days and cutting down the nets at Madison Square Garden in terms of the conference tournament.
So are those 5 teams?
Well, I think Seton Hall, I mean, you look at who's ranked right now. There's a reason they're ranked. And I think DePaul, 8-0. Think about this.
Oh, wow.
The last time a 10th place team that was predicted to finish last had this good of a start was Providence in 1988-89. They went on to be 13-0 after being picked last in the Big East. And DePaul right now trending in the right direction. And, you know, you can't count out Butler. You can't count out undefeated teams that are playing not a great schedule, but a competitive schedule.
And winning the games they're supposed to win.
Exactly, not stubbing their toes.
So he's saying Nova, Seton Hall, Xavier, Butler, DePaul, your 5 teams right there. You know, I didn't hear who this guy, Marcus Howard, plays in Mark. He's capable. I know.
Well, yeah, you know, and that's good. We were talking about it in the production meeting, and you said this in regards to the difference between the regular season and then once you get into the Big East Conference Championship. Okay, Marcus Howard doesn't have the supporting cast that he had last year, so it's tougher to carry a team to an outright conference title early on. But once you get into a tournament weekend scenario, having that kind of player that can score 30, 40, 50 points, that talent can carry you through a 3-day tournament, which is different than the process, the long grind of winning an outright title during the season. So that's probably why Marquette is on the outside looking in regards to outright title. But I can bet some money on Marcus Howard. If he gets hot in the Big East Conference Championship and tournament, he could carry it.
1-8, razor-thin margin for error. I think St. John's isn't there yet. Mike Anderson's going to build the program. They will be there. They'll be competitive in their home games. Georgetown with the hit, LeBlanc, Akinjo, no longer with the program. that puts them off the mark. But the other 8 teams, razor thin, all going to be competing for the championship. But I do think there is a cutoff. Those 4 or 5 at the top are there for a reason.
By the way, we'll see how Marquette competes without Marcus Howard tonight. He's out, concussion protocol. Hope he gets back very soon. Meanwhile, we're getting you ready for DePaul, Texas Tech. Romeo! Romeo!
We're out now, Romeo.
That's Romeo Weaves' first career double-double against Boston College, November 23rd. DePaul trying to go to 9-0 in the season for a preview. Send it out to the guys calling the game, Tim Brando and Bill Raftery.
One of those December matchups, Mike Hill, you don't want to miss. It's the Big 12 Big East battle. Texas Tech finalists on the road to the Final Four a year ago against the undefeated DePaul Blue Demons tonight. And Bill Raftery by my side. Listen, this is a matchup where we'll feature some guards. Charlie Moore has been nothing short of amazing, the transfer from Cal and Kansas.
Every team needs leadership, which you provide for us. Of course, his outstanding performance day in and day out this season has lifted this club, whether it's running a fast break, finding partners. He's got great finishers. Obviously, Reed, one of the best in the country, talented as well. But I just love his range. He makes some big shots, not afraid of the moment. And on the defensive end, his ability to sniff it out, come up with some steals, and the ability to finish. Talented performer.
The story for DePaul has been their offense during this run, but they'll be tested tonight from a defensive standpoint unlike any other. And Chris Beard does have an outstanding guard in Davide Moretti, who put on a show on the run to the NCAA Finals a year ago.
From Bologna, he's going to be playing a long time. I know you've got history of Bologna, but his understanding of the game is so mature. His feel, whether it's making free throws, which he's so consistent, the open shot or getting in lane and being creative, gives it up. Terrific performer and a great leader.
Should be a lot of fun. Very entertaining, meaningful game for DePaul. Could be their best run since the early 90s against a Texas Tech team that really believes it needs to get back on course. That's the story from here. Back to Mike.
It's good to see good college basketball in Chicago again. And look at this. You talked about, he said, the early 90s for the 9-game winning streak possibly. But look at the start, though. 8-0 on the season and longest season opening winning streaks. Look at that. Back to 86-87.
Red Meyer, Joey Meyer.
Remember Rod Strickland back in the day? Bad boy.
Clyde Bradshaw.
Best point guards in the nation from New York City. Meanwhile, around the nation, Notre Dame, Maryland. It's Big Ten ACC Challenge. John Mooney knocking down the trifecta right there. Notre Dame with the early lead. In transition here is Aaron Wiggins.
Go get it.
The block.
Go get it.
Score remains at 13. What do you guys think of Maryland this year?
I love their shoes.
What about the players in the shoes?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that quietly, you know, ranked high, but people are not kind of talking about as far as a national championship contending team. This team will continue to get better through the course of the year and be right there at the end.
Maryland up right now. The ACC with 4 teams in the top 10. Virginia, one of them, of course, defending national championship. But look, the dude putting it on them tonight.
Mackey Arena trying to get a little payback for that heartbreaking loss in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
Look at this, up 48-32. They've given up 48 points and still 10 minutes to go in this game. The dude looking for the upset. All right, time for some impact players, DePaul and Texas Tech. Let's start off with that fella from DePaul right there, Charlie Moore.
Yeah, one of the best when it comes to both shot making and playmaking. Diminutive in size, but because of his basketball intellect and the skill set that he possesses, he's the one that really sets the table, creates the tempo for DePaul. And DePaul this year, with their personnel, their athleticism, they can play at a quicker clip and yet still be efficient.
Right. And I love the fact that in the game's decision-making, the ball is in Charlie Moore's hands. That's a big difference. The reason why they're able to finish off games. And for me, it's all about Chris Clark. I mean, over the last few games, he's 28 points, 17 rebounds, shooting at a high clip. I think this young man at 6'6" provides the body, the physicalness to be able to compete inside, to rebound defensively, offensively. He's finding his stride. Again, he's a senior, transferring from Virginia Tech, so he's been there, done that. He's a key cog, I think, you know, Chris Beard saying we need experience because of the people that we lost. But right now, he's beginning to hit his stride in regards to feeling a lot more comfortable within the Texas Tech system.
You see the assists, third in the Big 12, but his 8 rebounds actually leads the team as a guard. All right, so Texas Tech, of course, runners-up national championship last year, started off 5-0. They've lost their last 2 games. Yeah. Will they bounce back tonight?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen tonight. DePaul, with momentum, playing at home, and again, that front line of Butts and Reed, they can go to work down low. They're highly skilled. They can play at a faster pace, as I mentioned earlier on this broadcast. So I just love this DePaul team. It's a balanced team that goes deep, different combinations that Dave Lato has at his disposal.
Well, think about this. DePaul limiting teams to 36% field goal shooting, okay? In the last 2 games, this Texas Tech team shot 43% and also 32%. So they're not shooting the ball extremely well. And it doesn't get any easier with the long athleticism from this DePaul team. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can knock down some shots early. If they can do that, then you turn it around a little bit, but it's a tough task to ask.
Last time they made the tournament. I hope so. Last time they made the tournament, 2014. This will be a big resume builder for them as well. Time now for tip-off. We're excited about Chicago and DePaul. Tim Brando, Bill Raftery with the call. See you at the half.
All right, Mike, thank you. We welcome you to the Wintrust Arena. Tonight, an intersectional matchup that could be a preview into March. Texas Tech, fresh off of 2 losses in Vegas, trying to get off the schneid against one of the great stories in college basketball so far, the DePaul Blue Demons of the Big East. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Bill Raftery, Tim Brando, and this is really the irresistible force against the movable object.
Well, Texas Tech, one of those teams, great defensively. They've had days off to prepare. Interestingly, Charlie Moore, this kid does so much. How will they play him? How will they play the ball screen with him? Makes big shots, tough kid.
One of those games that could really matter when the selection committee goes to work. Either one of these teams would love a victory over the other on their chart. Starting lineup sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Guard Layden. Keep an eye on Davide Moretti, who'll be checking Charlie Moore. Butts is consistent with Reed inside. Clark is the transfer for Virginia Tech, along with T.J. Holyfield. Now, Jahmius Ramsey, the outstanding freshman from Duncanville High School, Arlington, Texas, unable to go. He was at practice today, but couldn't work. They're hoping to get him back soon. Been out with a hamstring injury. That's been one of the problems for Texas Tech, the inability to score, particularly inside. And they'll need to score some tonight to stay with the 3-point barrage of DePaul.
Absolutely, but the solid defense, their scheme is exceptional, extraordinary. Always in the right spot, Texas Tech. It behooves you to get good shots and don't turn it over. I think the key the whole game, the rebounding.
Take a look at our officiating crew. Tommy Eads, Ray Natilli, and John Gaffney.
And Timmy B, the ball goes a little bit. There's the matchup you mentioned, Moretti and Moore.
Nice cut to the basket, but quickly doubled as Moretti has to give it up. Finds Clark, who sends it to Edwards for 3. Ooh, the iron unkind to open to the Red Raiders.
An early little shot by Timmy.
Well, it's been a fun day. Thought I'd get it out of the way early.
You really have to cut well, be distinct. Move the basketball. A lot of screening against this team. You can't settle deep.
He's been lighting it up of late. Jalen Coleman-Land, the transfer from Illinois. Dave Lato was telling us earlier today, he's found his stroke, and with it has come a lot of confidence.
I think his damaged goods last year. Hurt early, never got in stride.
The ball was deflected. It's a turnover. Charlie Moore brings it down.
That's that, out of bounds, I think.
And offside of where he was, there's Dave Lato. Hard to believe his second act here is already into its 5th season. You know, they made one of those conscious efforts to go back to the last time they were successful, and that was with Dave Lato. They brought him in. It's been turbulent. It hasn't been easy, Bill, but they're on the precipice of something special this year.
They've been rewarded by sticking with him. A class act, a nice program right now. This kid is good, Clark. Nice help from the weak side. Can he block some shots? Over 3 a game. He's had 7 a number of times. Look at this weak side conversion. Big time prospect. Alert and bailing your partner out. Nice cut.
Another one on the inbound pass and a foul to go with it.
Holyfield with a little nickel dimer.
TJ, the senior out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, transferred from Stephen F. Austin. Actually, the last time TJ had played prior to coming to Texas Tech was for Stephen F. Austin against Texas Tech.
Well, he's a pretty good offensive rebounder. That's his key.
How about Stephen F. Austin, by the way, is one of the incredible stories of this year.
Don't bring that up around Michael.
Especially in the wake of last night's win that the Devils got at Michigan State. There's another takeaway.
Nice job by Holyfield here with the three-quarter denial.
Well, they're going to give that three, but it doesn't fall for Shannon, freshman from right here in Chicago, Lincoln Park High School.
Big-time prospect. They're going to force him one way. It doesn't matter with this guy. Charlie, nobody knocks that floater down. They take half the court away from him.
Tech 0 for 3 with a couple of turnovers to open.
Now this is a little Indiana basketball right now. You're seeing the motion offense. Bob Knight, big influence on Chris Beard. Get a piece of the lane.
Clark in traffic, gives it up. Ball fake and a beauty. Nice pass inside. Look at that defense from Butts.
What a great look by Edwards. It's 4 assists a game.
Here's Paul Reed over Holyfield. Can't get it to go. Rebound cleared by Shannon Jr.
Reed's got a little bit of everything on that box. Turnaround jumper, jump hooks, either hand. Can step out. They don't run anything for him either. Move the defense side to side. Fade screen.
They want to drive, Bill, but there's no avenue. Moretti.
You got to keep him out of that lane. That's his game right there.
Yeah. And he's rejected again.
And that's the big thing. Keeping him out of the lane. A little Jalen Brunson-like. Trying to dominate and then find some people. Stay at home on the shooters as well. But once again, number 2. Whew, does he get a piece of the action around the rim?
Leads to a lane violation, so no points by either team in the last 2:20.
You going to take the block away?
Not if you're a stat sheet stuffer. You're going to go back and talk to the... There's Chris Beard. You mentioned 46 years of age, tutored not only under Bob Knight, but also Bob's son, Patrick. He was an assistant coach. You talk about class of hard knocks. He coached at literally every level, but that historic run he made at Arkansas Little Rock to win the Sun Belt got him this opportunity.
Oh, what a look.
And a foul inside.
And to finish your thought, he is a journeyman, but boy, has he picked up this trade. Outstanding coach. Of course, phenomenal year last year. And both of us had a chance to watch him at practice. Terrific teacher, motivator.
He actually coached the South Carolina Warriors of the ABA.
You probably did some of the games.
Everyone was under 6'4", I believe. Didn't I see you there?
But's one of those guys that has really developed, improved under Dave Lato. Knows his game, knows what he can do in the low box area, catches stuff.
More than anything, Bill, I think the trust factor down low with him is he'll always be in the right place.
Well, Jimmy Jackson was mentioning about their defense, and it is true. A lot of it is their ball screen defense. But's one of those guys, Reed another, plus the ability to block at the rim by Reed.
Clark trying to bring Butts away from the basket, gives it up to Davide.
He does that well, doesn't he? But boy, they stayed on the ground with him with Reed. They had Moretti if they wanted him. Virginia, he can knock that shot down.
Yeah, and they teach the ball fake. That's
he can make it. That's a good job. He comes in, knocks a few down, gets them healthy.
That's the sophomore Avery Benson, red shirt from Springdale, Arkansas. Sun Christian Academy. There's an answer from Reed.
Dry draw, dish. More of Charlie.
He had 12 assists the other night. 21 and 12 in the game for Charlie Moore.
Well, he takes big shots, too. That's what I love about him.
Moretti tries to answer and does.
Can't give him space. Got to run him off the line. Going to be a great international player. They dodged one now. That's a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Gaffney on top of it. It all began with the rejection here, Governor.
Well, the defensive ability is vastly improved with a big guy around the rim, but how about the other end? Moore, dribble, drive, 5. Send it in, big fella.
The Big Ten championship is on Fox.
We've been waiting all year long.
Justin Fields and the Buckeyes take on Jonathan Taylor and number 8 Wisconsin.
Taylor, look at the speed.
The Big Ten Championship. Coverage begins Saturday at 7 on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Hey, come help your old man with the dishes. Stella?
Anytime I go,
Did I ever tell you this story of your Uncle John and I?
I try to bring my heart, but home is where it's at.
Don't freak out, but you can get 50% off all menu price pizzas when you order online at Domino's right now.
Right now?
Right now?
Right now?
Right now? Yes, right now.
50% off, honey! Right now!
Now through the end of the week, get 50% off all menu price pizzas when you order online at Domino's.
Remember that degree you got in taxation? Of course you don't. Because you didn't. Your job isn't doing hard work. It's making them do hard work and getting paid for it.
Snap and sort your expenses to save over $4,600 at tax time. QuickBooks, backing you.
Look. Only one thing's more exciting than getting a Lexus. Giving one. The Lexus December to Remember sales event.
Lease the 2020 NX 300 for $329 a month for 27 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
From the heart of New York City, Madison Square Garden.
To be able to play in this arena, it gets your heart going.
To feel like you're on the stage with the light shining on you.
Game in the Big East Tournament.
It's going to be a big-time atmosphere and a big-time game.
Everybody on their feet. You have to embrace the moment. You want to cut down the nets in Madison Square Garden.
The Big East Tournament at Madison Square Garden. Get tickets now.
Dak Prescott brings Dallas's explosive offense to prime time when they face Chicago at Soldier Field. Cowboys, Bears, Thursday Night Football on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video. Jump ahead, flushes it in.
He's lighting it up from deep.
Great finish. One punch man. This kid is on fire. Woo! He is rolling. Bring it on. And pounds it down. Get out of my way. Power.
The most recent win, they came from 18 down against Central Michigan. You look at this, best start since 86-87, Bill. 2 wins against Big Ten schools. The road record certainly matters, but I don't think there's any question. Those that are in the ranking business believe that this Texas Tech game will go a long way in determining if they're for real or not for real.
And it'll really complement those road wins you're talking about. When you think of it, this is Big Ten country, and you get go up with the Minnesota and Iowa, and then, of course, go east and beat BC. This is a team. Weems hasn't had a shot yet, by the way, and he is tremendous talent, big upside, passes well, great length for defense. That's the area I think they've gotten tougher. This end of the floor.
Kevin McCullough, number 15 on the floor, giving it up to Davide Moretti.
Very good passer right now. Clark makes plays for people. This is his game, middle game.
Moretti with the shot clock winding down under 5. Ooh. Moore all over him. Wow. Top take, and it's a walk.
Wow, he got wrapped. Woo. Goodness.
Chris Beard got a little return to sender in terms of the physical nature of the ball defensively that time.
Charlie gets a couple of pokes in here, a little jab, another boot. My goodness. That baby face, charming. He come over, embraced you.
As soon as he walked in today for the shoot-around. Now that's through the years we've always had that. You can always tell the guys that are good publicists for themselves. Charlie Moore came right over.
Oh, I thought you were talking about yourself.
No.
And Charlie Moore, what they're trying to do with the 2-2-1, once he gives it up, don't let him get it back. I don't know if Benson's capable of that on this switch. He's face guarding now.
That one goes crying off the front rim.
That's called cutting off the head when you take away that point guard. Nice cut.
This is some matchup on the perimeter with Moretti being dogged by Moore.
What a reaction defensively has been
really
extraordinary.
This is as good as I've seen DePaul play defensively, Bill. The bank is open late. Count it. And a foul.
How about the lefty able to put it on the deck and use a little kiss, Jimmy B. Right here. When you're that lefty, of course, you're assuming he's going to go that way. Way to use that glass. Benson giving him a little bit of lift offensively. Going to struggle early.
Jalen Coleman lands, picks up his first foul.
And only in the game right now. Kid out of France, huh? Some of the influence of his international coaching. I think Lefebvre, who's now up with the Timberwolves, had a big influence too, right?
He has, and he's been really good offensively. He averaged 18 and 6 at the Scotland Performance Institute in Pennsylvania, helped lead his team to the National Prep Tournament final. His father, Frederick, was also a professional basketball player in France.
He's got some speed, too, end-line to end-line. And if you don't guard, you're not on the floor. That's what he's doing right now. See, watch him shut him off. They may trap that ball screen. You can't let this kid get in the lane like that.
How about a drawn dish?
Yeah,
that was beautiful. It was wide open for Romeo Weems, who's been knocking those down of late. This is now a 9-2 spurt for Texas Tech.
That's a tough cover, that opposite corner.
Look at those assists.
You mentioned Ramsey not playing. Clark being the sixth man. I think that was really a nice rotation.
Adolny found an avenue. Got it to the rim. Nice little scoop to the hoop. The lead is 5 as Charlie Moore navigates, looks down low.
They switched the ball screen.
Good pass. How about that to Butts? Everything but the finish there. That was a beautiful pass from Reed. Right in the lane.
This is a team that's really grown, I think. Good feel for one another. Not taking bad shots. Reed sort of sniffs out a triple in a sense. That's over helping there. One's got to stay at home and communicate.